The Lobos from New Mexico, they've made the trek to the Pioneer Valley, coming off a tough loss last week against New Mexico State. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the broadcast booth. Jay Burnham alongside Andy Gresh. And Gresh, we've got two teams here today, bad offensively a year ago. They've gone out in the offseason and have really tried to improve that, bringing in a lot of experience.
They did, and if you look today, for both of these teams, they're going to be starting senior quarterbacks, guys with experience. On the UMass end, it's Carlos Davis, who is in for the injured Tyson Pumachong. And then on the other side, New Mexico, you have Dylan Hopkins, who transferred from UAB. But both with experience, both have the ability to throw the football. Davis and Hopkins have both taken care of it pretty well. Again, Davis from Western Carolina in for Pumachon. Hopkins transferred from UAB with offensive coordinator Bryant Vincent.
A lot of weather was the issue last time we were here for an update on that and the injuries. Let's send it down to the sidelines with Matt Goldstein. Goldie.
Thanks, Jay. A much different weather game than the first game of the season for UMass at home. 59 degrees right now. It is a slight drizzle. The wind is pretty calm, but it's expected to pick up later in the game. For UMass, Tyson Pumachon is not dressed. He will be out. And the secondary a little bit depleted today, guys. 3 players that either start or play a good majority of the game. Jordan Mahoney, Deshaun Jerkins, and Noya Boynkin all out today. Good news for UMass defensively, though, as their nose tackle, Hugo Clagis, he is back today. He will be playing. For New Mexico, Luke Wysong, their do-it-all player. He's a wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner. He is out.
Certainly some big news as UMass won the toss. They deferred. New Mexico loves receiving the football. There's only 2 times in the Coach Gonzalez era where they have not started off with the football. The kick is away from Kaloji, and we're underway. Lewis on the return gets upended at the 23-yard line, a 22-yard pickup on the return, and we'll see this revamped New Mexico offense coming off a loss last week against New Mexico State.
Jay, last week against New Mexico State, the head coach, Danny Gonzalez, talked about offensively they were pretty good, but needed to make some more big plays on both sides of the ball, and really pointed out a big touchdown run that the defense gave up. But the optimism meter and the arrow is pointing way up for this New Mexico offense under new offensive coordinator Bryant Vincent. And there you see Dylan Hopkins, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the year.
Yeah, Vincent coming over from UAB, bringing Hopkins along with him. And the carry is to Lewis on first down. He's got nowhere to go, a pickup of 1. Dorian Lewis, Coffeyville Junior College transfer, senior running back here for New Mexico.
And Jay, one of the things that jumps out to me with New Mexico is the size of their offensive line. Their left tackle, J.C. Davis, is 307, but up the middle, they're 345, 346 at the guard spot. That's pretty big. I mean, that is pro-level size at the guards.
And welcome back the junior from Springfield, Massachusetts, C.J. James in the middle of that offensive line. Second down, and they'll keep it on the ground again. Lewis ran into his own man, still going, and gets taken down near the line again by Teray Powell, a pickup of 7. And take a look at the players to watch, brought to you by our friends at UMass 5 College Credit Union, the official credit union of Massachusetts Athletics. UMass 5 College Credit Union offering co-op advantage checking with cash back on all purchases, plus secure debit card and controls, all from UMass 5 mobile banking app. And you can see there, Jerry Roberts Jr. returned off of injury a week ago. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt has been a huge difference maker in the offense for the Lobos.
Krosky-Merritt, 83 rushing yards and a touchdown last week against New Mexico State.
And they're going to give it to him, and there's nowhere to go off the right side. He is stopped short, maybe a yard and a half. And we've got a flag, unfortunately, on the play here.
It's going to go against New Mexico, it looks like. But that's a big early stop for this UMass defense here at home, Jay.
It sure is. And how about just flags in general? Both these teams really need to clean it up. They are towards the bottom of FBS in terms of penalties per game. We take a look back at this from Krosky-Merritt.
Good penetration by Billy Wooden to force the running back to the right side, and then all the UMass defenders were there.
Tyler Rudolph is the man down right now. The redshirt junior and the Penn State transfer has been a big part of this defense. And we talked about the injuries. Well, you can't afford, if you're Massachusetts, to lose another guy in the secondary.
No, and Tyler Rudolph is a part of the experienced group back there as well.
Timeout on the field. We'll be back. 4th down.
Honda's hybrid game is strong with Honda Accord and CR-V hybrids on the field. Honda hybrids never need to be plugged in. The onboard system charges the battery for you. Go further with hybrids that get up to 46 miles per gallon and 614 miles per tank. Plus, get 2 years of complimentary maintenance, oil changes, tire rotations, and more. It's game on. Drive a Honda hybrid at your local Honda dealer today.
Some people just know there's a podcast about that. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate.
Big tea drinker?
Yeah.
There's a podcast about tea.
He knows, and he wants you to know too.
I was listening to a podcast on if dogs know their dogs.
There's a podcast about that?
Just like he'd want you to know about Allstate.
There's a podcast about fly fishing called Why Is That Person Doing That? It's called Tea-rific.
Are you listening to a podcast?
Yeah, it's about multitasking.
Some people just know there's a podcast about that. Those are the people who know you're in good hands with Allstate.
I wish for the amazing new iPhone 15 Pro.
Sean! Do you mean this one? The one with titanium?
No way I could trade this busted up thing for one.
Maybe stealing wishes from the birthday boy is not your best plan. Switch to Verizon and trade in any iPhone and get the new iPhone 15 Pro on them.
What?
Yep, and on an amazing network.
And I don't have to ruin any more birthday parties.
Yeah, that ship has sailed. Let's go get you that iPhone. Here we go. Come on now.
Trade in any iPhone in any condition for a new iPhone 15 Pro on us, only on Verizon.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 is so good, the crew is giving every combination code names.
I got that sauce biscuit and some Tay-Tays.
Eggman and Saucy Boy. 2 hot coffees.
No matter what you call it, Wendy's breakfast is that breakfast. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
A message from Fireball. Can I leave?
This work party ain't working. F it.
Fireball, free or fire.
There's the defensive guru in head coach Don Brown for Massachusetts. Picked up a big win week 0 against New Mexico State. Second season back here as head coach.
And New Mexico is going to go for it here, Jay, on 4th and 1, backed up into their own end.
We told you this was a must-win for both teams. That's certainly how they're approaching it, or will they snap this, I think, is the bigger question.
Well, they got 27 seconds on the play clock, and they've already flopped the tight ends, so now you can see UMass adjusting to the adjustment of 2 tight ends to the left. So this is either going to be who makes the last shift, or does somebody make a mistake? And here the tight ends flop again, and now we got a false start.
All right, so Krosky Merritt, the back next to Hopkins, and that will be a decision made for the Lobos. You trying to keep UMass on their toes a little bit there, Gresh?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's the can we get a free 5 yards?
Right.
Because if you back up 5 yards here, I don't think it's the end of the world with Aaron Rodriguez averaging over 40.5 yards per punt. However, I am not for all that ping-ding-a-linging around. Like, if you're going to line up, you're going to try to get somebody to jump, do it. Otherwise, don't be doing it where your team can make a mistake.
Tough punt with pressure coming, and this one's going to end up short, out of bounds. Ross was the retrieve man, and UMass will have great field position to begin their first offensive possession of the day. Just a 28-yard net punt.
Yeah, pumped up the Rodriguez average there, and then that was not a great kick. So the Minutemen are going to get some pretty good starting field position for this guy, Jay. Senior quarterback Carlos Davis. It's his 3rd start in a row, filling in for Tyson Pumachan, and on the year, pretty good numbers, 63%, 690 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Feels like the interceptions with both these quarterbacks can kind of come in bunches.
Yeah, and for Davis, it was really what was harped on last week against Eastern Michigan in a 2-point loss on the road. You got to protect the football, but they already have more passing touchdowns this season than they did all of last year. 1st and 10 for Davis to the air. Looking deep. He chucks it. He's got Pope, and it's just out of his reach. Should have been a touchdown. Had a step on Zach Morris, the sophomore. Wind it up.
Well,
let it go, Gresh.
And Don Brown talked this week about how they're much better from a skill standpoint with George Johnson, Anthony Simpson, and Mark Pope. Great protection by the UMass offensive line and the running backs. And he has got Zach Morris beat. It's just a matter of the ball getting there, and Carlos Davis just misses what would have been an opening play score.
He was 23 of 41 through the air last week, and now nowhere to go for K'Ron Lynch-Adams. He is dragged down and dropped for a loss of 3. Marenko coming up to make the stop on the defensive line, along with the big man Gabriel Lopez.
Yep, Lopez was in there, really all 3 of the defensive linemen, but it was Gabriel Lopez who flashed first. You'll notice really only 3 down linemen as a part of this New Mexico defense. They've got some hybrid guys out there all over the place, including in the back of the secondary.
This defense, 44% on third down so far this season for New Mexico. 3rd and long, trying to force a 3 and out. They'll bring pressure. Davis just chucks it away, and it is incomplete. A dangerous pass looking for George Johnson III, but we've got a flag in the backfield. This could be on the hit for Davis.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be roughing the passer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 36, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's our referee today, Gary Patterson, our ACC ref. Good years playing quarterback at Wofford back in his day. Let's take a look at this.
Well, you get a 3rd down stop, and then you end up getting this penalty in the pocket of bringing down Davis. Really, no need to do so. I'm sure there'll be a lot of folks on the whole, allow him to bring him down, finish the play. Here's what I know. I heard Danny Gonzalez, New Mexico head coach, all week talk about we can't make the critical mistakes. You get off the field on 3rd down, then you get a 3rd down penalty to extend the drive. That's the kind of stuff that he was talking about during the week.
That is a huge gift to Massachusetts. Sire Riley flagged for the offense. And now 1st and 10 for the Minutemen into New Mexico territory. They'll put Simpson in motion and give it to K'Ron Lynch-Adams, and Marenko comes up to make the stop after a gain of just 1. Alec Marenko, the linebacker out of El Paso, Texas. Take a look at how UMass has been able to balance this attack so far this season, Gresh.
Well, when you look at those numbers across the board, Anthony Simpson has really jumped out. But what I like, Jay, is that you've got Greg DeRozier's with a touchdown catch.
How about get it into the arms of Simpson, who gets to the first down marker on the jet sweep, a pickup of 11.
I was just about to mention Anthony Simpson, who has a touchdown catch. George Johnson Jr. with a touchdown catch. It's not just concentrated to one player like it has been here in the past at UMass, and this guy, Anthony Simpson, has made a big impact immediately on this group.
Had 0 FBS offers out of high school. Head coach Don Brown for the Minutemen made a call to a former player of his, Stack Williams, in Connecticut, and he said, you got to check out this guy Simpson, and he went with Brown to Arizona, now here at UMass. Over the middle, that's K'Ron Lynch-Adams on the completion inside the 25, and we've got a hit that comes in late as well on Riley on a 7-yard pickup. This is not the way that New Mexico wanted to start this game.
No, when your head coach is preaching all week about don't make the big mistakes, you get 2 of them here on this drive. Presumably this is going to go against New Mexico.
Foul, targeting, number 18 defense, the 15-yard penalty, or half the distance to the goal. That penalty is under further review.
So that was actually Alec Marenko, who was in there on the stop with Riley. We'll take a look and get your opinion. We had a couple of these 2 weeks ago here that got picked up, and little difficult to say.
Well,
more
again,
of the shoulder there.
It's kind of the forearm to the head, I think it is. Look at the right arm. Yeah, there's the helmet-to-helmet contact right there. So then it becomes, was he leading with the head with the intent to injure? And that's where you start to get into, you got a middle linebacker in Alec Marenko, who is 6'3", and he's crouching down to be able to make that play, to be able to make that tackle.
So they'll take a look at this. Already some big penalties in this game on New Mexico, including one roughing the passer that has allowed Massachusetts to continue this drive. And this is where UMass, by the way, on the other side of the football here, they need to finish drives and finish games, and that's something they just haven't been able to do. They've moved the football much better this season, but they haven't been able to finish on a lot of occasions.
And, Jay, what it would mean to the UMass offense to miss what would have been a home run touchdown on the first play of the game, to then find a way to grind out a score here after missing that big throw down the field, which would have gone pretty much for a touchdown.
Yeah, they had the home run hit on the first play. Meanwhile, it looked like New Mexico was trying to draw UMass off sides on their 3-and-out. And so the Minutemen picking up a 7-yard completion to K'Ron Lynch-Adams, who's not only done it in the running game, he had his second 100-yard rush game of the season.
On the previous play. Play stands, second down. Number 18 is not disqualified.
Okay, so Marenko will stay in the game, and meanwhile you see the turnovers. UMass just too many of those. And so a sigh of relief for New Mexico and Danny Gonzalez. The call overturned, and now it'll just be 2nd and 3 for Massachusetts from the 23-yard line. Under 11 to play in this first quarter.
Jay, it's a great opportunity here for UMass to try to press one in the end zone on 2nd and 3 if they really want to.
I'll put Falai and Campiati, who had a big game last week, in motion, along with Sean Harris Jr., and give it to K'Ron Lynch-Adams. Spins off one defender, but has nowhere to go, and he is taken down. Maybe a gain of 2 there for K'Ron Lynch-Adams. They're going to need one more for the first down.
And to this point, New Mexico has done a good job here in the early part of this first quarter in not allowing K'Ron Lynch-Adams to get rolling.
Tavian Combs coming up for the stop. Big 3rd down. And they'll give it on the plunge to Lynch-Adams, and I don't think he got it.
I don't either.
Over the top for New Mexico came Christian Ellis out of Jacksonville, Florida, along with Marenko in there on the stop.
Boy, it's a really nice job by the New Mexico defense, and Marenko, who just had that play reviewed for targeting, flying around in the middle there, meets Lynch-Adams right in the hole. Nowhere for him to go. Great eyes and anticipation there by Alec Marenko.
So UMass not opting to try and go for it, looking at a 39-yard field goal from Cam Carson near the right hash to get points on the board first. Carson, 3 of 5 on the season so far, had a career long of 48 last week against Eastern Michigan. 39-yard attempt. Looks a little short, and it will indeed be no good. Wide left for Carson, and UMass will have a premium scoring opportunity squandered here in the first quarter.
Interesting choice to go for the field goal there, considering it ended up being a situation where you got a couple of gifts to keep the drive going. We're scoreless in Amherst.
This ain't nothing but a little movement therapy. Why me as my shoulders moving voluntarily? Step left, but his hip go right.
All Massachusetts football fans, be sure to check out the UMass store. It's your one-stop shop for all things UMass football, including jerseys, custom gear, and Adidas sideline apparel. Visit us in the campus center or online at umassstore.com, the official outfitter of UMass gifts and apparel. Well, a gift here back to New Mexico. Second possession of the day for the Lobos, averaging almost 28 points per game. Play action for Hopkins. He's going to take a shot. He has a man wide open. That is Medford at the 30 and wrestled down inside the 25-yard line. Hopkins connects with Caleb Medford for 54 yards and a first down here for the Lobos.
And Jay, sometimes it's a matter of attacking a backup. Jordan Mahoney out for the UMass Minutemen. Number 8, Tristan Armstrong is the backup, matched up against Caleb Medford. Medford's got 4 inches on Armstrong. Armstrong's hardly in the picture in coverage right there. So a nice job by Bryant Vincent of going after one of the UMass backups in the secondary.
You know, they say Medford's name a little different up here, right?
Meffa.
First down, big shot. Pitch it to Henry, looking to dance off the outside, and he's got nowhere to go. UMass stepping up. Najee Logan and Jarrell Johnson in to make the tackle for a loss of 2. I tell you what, though, head coach Don Brown told us that Tristan Armstrong did a fine job filling in last week for Jordan Mahoney. But you're right, losing a guy like that in the secondary, and you can tell New Mexico trying to take advantage of that.
Well, and Jay, the weapons that New Mexico comes in with, you've got Medford at 6'3", Andrew Erickson, another senior, 8 catches and a touchdown on the year, Deuce Jones, DJ Washington. They got a lot of people to be able to attack with this year offensively for New Mexico.
The Lobos stop UMass on 3rd and short and then a missed field goal has led to a Lobos opportunity moving into Minutemen territory. Hopkins slant over the middle. Medford complete for the first down at the 11-yard line. Let's send it down to the sidelines with Matt Goldstein. Goldie.
Guys, not good for the UMass secondary. Tyler Rudolph, who had to get helped off the field, he already had a brace on his elbow. He is now in a sling. His return is doubtful.
So starting to pile up here for Massachusetts. Again, that was a room that they really tried to bring in plenty of depth for this past offseason, but hard to overcome some top-of-the-line injuries. Meanwhile, Hopkins coming off a performance 20 of 39 for 237. Didn't throw an interception last week in the loss against New Mexico State. Moving down the field from the 11. Krosky Merritt has nowhere to go, and Billy Wooden clogging up the line, forces him back. That's actually Cletus Matherin, the big man, for a loss of 1.
Well, those two guys inside, Wooden and Matherin, are really just double trouble in there. Both of them are 6'1". Both of them are around 310 pounds, or maybe a couple of biscuits north of that. And those big guys are tough to move. New Mexico head coach Danny Gonzalez really pointed out Billy Wooden and saying that guy's a dog. Jay, you and I have been watching him a long time. Billy Wooden stands out in the middle of this UMass defense.
He sure does. Matherin as well.
Timeout.
We've got a timeout called by UMass to talk this one over. You know, this is where the Minutemen last week, they turned it over 4 times, didn't get a defensive turnover, so certainly looking to establish that as we take a timeout from Amherst. Lobos looking to strike first here in Western Mass. I guess we'll keep it right here. 6:30 to go in the first quarter.
Well, and
media timeout.
And Jay, for this UMass defense right here, Billy Wooden in the middle, this guy has been wreaking havoc for a long time. You can see just keeping the ability, or having the ability to keep the quarterback in the pocket, ends up leading to him being able to flop and fall on a football. And of course, that was from our Miami of Ohio game here that had 5 hours and 38 minutes of delays. When you see Billy Wooden by the numbers, what really stands out to me is that you got the tackles for loss, the sacks, the quarterback hurries, but against the run, we saw where some of the numbers don't show up. The ability to keep the quarterback in the pocket, don't give up the easy escape route because you got a big body there in the middle holding people up.
What time did you get home 2 weeks ago? I think we got out of the booth at around 12:45 or so.
I got home, I think it was like 2, because I'm pretty good at this normally, 2:58 a.m.
Wow.
And then back up for all the pro stuff the next day. That was a ton of fun, just like it has been watching Billy Wooden, who, by the way, he feels like he's been here, Jay, for about 8 years.
Yeah, he really has. And, you know, he's grown each and every season, and this year has been fully healthy for the Minutemen. And I think it's been apparent early on that UMass is kind of trying to stop the run first and threatening Hopkins to beat him through the air so far.
Yeah, and when you look at the way UMass wants to attack defensively, they want to put pressure on the quarterback, but they'll do it by blitz if they need to. I think you'd love to do it organically, but if you can't generate the consistent pressure, we know that Don Brown will dial it up. Now, the one thing to consider, Jay, is that you've got Jordan Mahoney, Tyler Rudolph, and Deshaun Jerkins that are all out of this game. Does that affect the blitz package?
You can see there's some of the guys that head coach Don Brown had highlighted. Gino Campiotti caught his first UMass touchdown last week against Eastern Michigan. Meanwhile, on the New Mexico side, they've really been pleased with the way that Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt has been able to run the football. Already 5 touchdowns on the season, the transfer from Alabama State. So we'll see what Hopkins and company will be able to do. They've checked in to the goal line here. Sherrod White as the running back. Sherrod White out of Mount San Jacinto Junior College. 48 yards on the ground so far this year. 2nd and 11. One big target is DJ Washington down at the bottom of your screen, 6'5", 219. They go right to him, and he bobbles the football. It is incomplete. Washington on the slant had Isaiah Rutherford right on his back.
Well, this is a great job of communication by Dylan Hopkins and the receiver, because when the blitz comes, this area is open, and Washington just doesn't make the catch. The ball is a little behind him, but Hopkins picked up on it right away, run the in cut to the vacated area from the blitzer, and unfortunately for DJ Washington, he couldn't make the catch.
So 3rd and 11.
You got Washington down to the bottom of the screen here, Jay, one-on-one.
Hopkins will go the other way up top, and it is hauled in. Touchdown. Wow, what a catch. It's Medford on the play, and New Mexico strikes first here on an 11-yard touchdown reception. Up in the air over his defender, and a 79-yard touchdown drive for the Lobos.
Jay, the reason I mentioned Washington was 6'5", but on the other end of Caleb Medford, you've got 6'3". To have him throw the football up and over Jalen Harrell, who again himself is 6'2", but that's a battle you expect a wide receiver to be able to win. So you're just leaning on your size on the outside to throw it up and make a catch in the end zone.
So Luke Drzwicki, the sophomore, on to try and make it a 7-0 lead here for New Mexico. What a turnaround. They took 3 points the other way, came up with a stop, and then will turn it into 7 on the possession. We'll be back. It'll be Massachusetts football when we return from Amherst.
Drive the road to win with Honda. This season's lineup is off the charts. Accords, Civics, HRVs, CRVs, Pilots, Passports, Ridgelines, Odysseys, with more value and more wins. Honda is the most fun to drive, the best value brand, and the most awarded brand in Car and Driver 10 Best history. The whole team is in stock. Do not miss these top picks. Drive one today at your local Honda dealer.
Your first home sees a lot.
So sign up now at espnplus.com.
Caleb Medford with a couple of huge catches. The TCU transfer for New Mexico. And Gresh, you don't see this every day. 82 passing yards on a 79-yard touchdown drive. Does that sound right?
Yes, and they all go to one guy. Yeah. That is pretty crazy when you think about it. Medford with the 3 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. And this was the kind of start that New Mexico had talked about getting off to. You know, you fly all the way across the country. There was a big deal made about that playing in the Eastern time zone. Both teams are better offensively. UMass misses the field goal on one end. New Mexico punches it in right afterwards when UMass makes the mistake.
Yeah, way to turn the tides for New Mexico, and Drzwicki will kick it away. UMass back to retrieve with 6:20 to go. DeWosier has been the return man for the Minutemen and tries to make a couple of moves, spins out of a pair of tackles and gets all the way out to the 31-yard line. And sent it down to the sidelines of Matt Goldstein. Goldie.
Well, the wind has calmed down, but the skies are opening up. Right now, the rain starting to come down much more heavy. You're seeing the guys holding the balls on the sidelines, have the towels out, trying to keep it as dry as possible. But right now, rain is definitely an opportunity.
We'll see how that'll affect Massachusetts. One of the things that UMass has struggled with this year, Gresh, is getting off to a good start. So it takes the run game out of things when they find themselves down 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, they need to get Kayron Lynch Adams going now.
A quick hitter to Christian Wells, and Wells will work the sideline and eventually shuffled out of bounds by Tavian Combs. Pickup of 7 on first down.
Nice job of competitive blocks on the outside by Gino Campiotti and Anthony Simpson right there. In a way, that's kind of a dressed up run to be able to get you into a favorable second down situation. But Lynch Adams, 3rd in FBS in rushing so far in this first quarter. The Minutemen have not been able to get him going running the ball.
Wells, his 6th catch of the season, the App State transfer, 2nd and 3. And they'll give it to him right up the middle. Kind of bounced into his own man at the 40, a pickup of 2, and you're looking at 3rd and short forthcoming for Massachusetts.
And it's interesting, the construct of this New Mexico defense, Jay, where you've really only got 3 down linemen, but you look at some of the linebackers, right? Like Marenko's 230 pounds. Dimitri Johnson's 230-pounder. Riley is a 254-pounder. So they've got some unique athletes within Troy Reffitt's defense.
Well, they went with a plunge play on the last 3rd down. Here they'll put Kayron Lynch Adams in motion, and we'll just give it to him right side, looking for the edge. Gets by one man, and coming up to make the stop near the line again is Ellis. And I think they're going to mark him short.
Yep, they have signaled 4th down. And if you're UMass, do you consider going for it here, considering everybody is running the quarterback sneak? Nice job by New Mexico to string it out. And then Christian Ellis, a big 6'1", 208-pound sophomore, coming up and making big plays. You know, Danny Gonzalez, the New Mexico head coach, mentioned how he needs his guys on the back end to grow up. Maybe a little bit of that today.
Big 4th down opportunity early on in this game. The give is to Adams, to the pile, and it's going to be close. What a stop on the 3rd down play for Christian Ellis. UMass going for it, just 2 of 7 on 4th down this season.
Yeah, the headline judge, Jay, came in, and it looked like that was short, or it's likely to be measured either way. I think they didn't get it.
Yeah, I don't think they got enough push. And how about this defensive line and stand for New Mexico? 2nd time already today. The push up front, Gabriel Lopez.
What a nice job by Lopez to be able to get free of his block. But you also notice Sire Riley up there as well. Just no one on the UMass offensive line winning any one-on-one battles whatsoever up front.
See the spot there just past the 40-yard line.
Yeah, this is short.
It is. They need to get to the 41.
Yep. They're going to measure it and make it official, or they're going to make us look stupid, one of the two. But I am pretty sure this thing is short.
You needed a second push, but I really think this series was won on that Christian Ellis stop on 3rd down with K'Ron Lynch-Adams bouncing it to the outside.
Yep.
And the Lobos will take over.
And this is massive for New Mexico because of the field position. They're going to get the ball at the UMass 40-yard line to be able to start this drive. So if you can move the chains twice and grab 20 yards, in theory, that stop could turn into, at worst, a field goal, or maybe you put together another drive and get 7 on the board. Danny Gonzalez in his 4th year at New Mexico, he's got to be real excited with the way his team has come out here in this first quarter.
He loves this program, was a walk-on, was a grad assistant, really cut his teeth from the area and trying to turn the program around. So on to the UMass side of the field, Lewis will get the carry, and he picks up 1.5 yards on 1st down. Dorian Lewis, just over 100 yards on the season, averaging almost 6 yards per carry. Had 44 yards a week ago against New Mexico State. Really did the heavy lifting in the 4th quarter for the Lobos in a game where they thought they should have been up 10-0 or 14-0 early on.
Yep. They. I know that Danny Gonzalez talked this week about, and after the game, hey, the first quarter, you know, we left some opportunities on the table and then gave up a 70-plus yard touchdown run in the 4th to make matters worse.
So the problem child for the Minutemen defense has been Medford, lined up in the slot up top. And Hopkins back to throw, looking that way. It is caught to Erickson at the 28, spins out of a tackle, and he fights his way for the 1st down for the Lobos, a pickup of 9.
This is a great read by quarterback Dylan Hopkins. UMass dropped into a cover 3. They showed man, then dropped into a cover 3, and look at Hopkins. Just wait that extra second for Erickson to open up to be able, and then great work there to get the 1st down. We mentioned the experience of Dylan Hopkins in this New Mexico offense, along with Carlos Davis for UMass, guys who are seniors. And, you know, with the COVID year, it's like extra reps that you got. So it's almost like you're super seniors now.
Here's Krosky Merritt with a head of steam, and he'll pick up 4 on 1st down. You know, you take a look at a guy like Hopkins. When we talked about in the intro there, New Mexico said we need to be able to be better offensively. They bring in a guy that really helped UAB, won 2 bowl games.
Yep. Pretty crazy when you think about how the transfer portal has gone in college football, that you can get a quarterback out of the portal who has led a program to 2 bowls.
And now we've got movement from Billy Wooden, who's saying it was on the offensive line. We'll sort this one out here at 2nd and 6.
Yeah, there was some middle movement, but it was after Wooden had come across the line of scrimmage. Did he get back? I don't know if that was too late a reaction potentially from the center C.J. James, who's playing in his backyard
Offside.
today.
Welcome home.
Defense, number 42, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So nice opportunity here for New Mexico. There's head coach Don Brown, known for his defensive prowess. DC Keith Dudzinski has done a fine job in his return here to Massachusetts as well. They've just been burned this year by the big play, and we saw that on the last drive for the Lobos.
Penalty's still a problem as well.
Yep.
Now you shrink this down to 2nd and 1 with all these wide receivers. New Mexico could take a shot here easily.
They'll hand it off. Little jump cut. And there goes Krosky Merritt. He breaks free. Touchdown of 21 yards. And it is a 2-score lead here for the Lobos. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, his 19th career touchdown.
Fantastic job blocking by the New Mexico offense right here. Krosky Merritt has very little resistance whatsoever. Once he gets to the second level, just nobody around to touch him.
The offsides leads to 2nd and 1. And on Krosky Merritt, touches down from 11. Back for the extra point is Luke Drzwicki. And he'll send this one through, and it is a perfect start here in Amherst for New Mexico. 1:59 to go. First quarter.
So now the Minutemen are in a situation here, Jay, that they've been in before. And let's take a look at the touchdown once again here by Krosky Merritt. You could see just no one around, no one to challenge him once he got to the second level, and really busting it over the left side. I thought on 2nd and 1 you could take a shot into the end zone if you wanted to. Instead, great execution by the offensive line of the University of New Mexico Lobos in getting their running back into the end zone.
Take a look at Tito Stafford, the Alabama State transfer, along with Krosky Merritt. Well, figuring out a way to get this offense clicking. I mean, I talked about it, these two teams bottom of the FBS in yards and points, and both UMass and New Mexico have done a good job of turning that around and moving the football. But the big plays coming defensively today for the Lobos on a couple of stops, one on 3rd and short and another on 4th and 1. DeWosier and George Johnson back to retrieve. They'll take it at the 15-yard line. DeWosier looking for some space, and he gets it across the 30 out to the 32-yard line, a gain of 18. We'll take a look at Don Brown and what he was talking about throughout the week for Massachusetts, saying, hey, we've got to be in games. He's been saying that for the last year and a half. We have to be in games to win games, but now there's no more moral victories. They have to figure out a way to get things to the finish line. See here after that loss against Eastern Michigan, but it's hard to win when you turn it over 4 times.
Yeah,
that certainly was the focal point.
And as football coaches are notoriously impatient, but when you're Don Brown and the expectations are to turn it around, and the expectations that he has on himself at this point, those are agonizing losses.
Especially after the opening win on week 0 against New Mexico State. Davis will take another shot, looking for George Johnson. The third comes back to the ball. It's incomplete. Coverage by Zach Morris. Like George Johnson was able to sneak inside of him and almost able to reel that in.
Yeah, Jay, I look at the throw on this one from Carlos Davis. It just kind of hung up there and wasn't out far enough. Johnson's trying to turn around to get back to the ball. That ball should be out in front of him and towards the sideline. You notice Johnson wasn't up against the sideline. That allows the quarterback the ability, a little wiggle room to throw it towards the end line and allow the wide receiver to make a catch.
Well, they'll hand it off. K'Ron Lynch-Adams looking for some space, and he bullies his way out to the 6-yard line. 6-yard game. We're gonna hear from K'Ron Lynch-Adams at the half. Been such a phenomenal player for UMass, especially this season, fully healthy, and gives the Minutemen 3rd and 3. So manageable here, Gresh.
Very manageable for the Minutemen, and be interesting to see what offensive coordinator Steve Casula dials up here. Might be a short crosser against the blitz.
Well, they got DeWosier now in the backfield. They'll empty him out. 3rd and 3 to the air. Davis looking downfield, and it is caught at midfield for the first down into the arms of Anthony Simpson for a pickup of 11.
Really nice job in the pocket by Carlos Davis. I mentioned those crossers. There were 2 shallow crossers, but it was the guy in the middle of them who just squatted. Look at Simpson, threw his hand up right there. Looked like that ball got tipped by Tyler Keene. number 90, and still making the catch with Simpson.
Noah Pola-Gates on the tackle. Now here's Davis. He'll dump it off short. DeWosier in open space. He's so dangerous. The track star inside the 30 and finally roped down at the 27-yard line, but not before. He picks up 23.
Jay, you wonder about a running back coming in who had 7 catches for 99 yards and a touchdown and no real rushing yards or rushing attempts, or not many of them. And this is a part of the reason why. DeRosier matched up against a bigger linebacker there in Dimitri Johnson, and he just runs away from Johnson.
Could be the final snap of the quarter. They'll hand it off to K'Ron Lynch-Adams, weaving his way inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line, a pickup of 3.5 on first down. And that will indeed take us to the end of the first quarter. Good start for the Lobos. Massachusetts moving into New Mexico territory. We'll be back from Amherst after this.
Honda's hybrid game is strong with Honda Accord and CR-V hybrids on the field. Honda.
It's a special moment. We worked hard to get to this moment right now. He's gonna throw it. Caught. Touchdown.
14-0, New Mexico leading Massachusetts, and New Mexico doesn't make the trip to the East Coast very often. In fact, just 1-11 in the Eastern time zone. Their furthest east prior to today's game was back in 2016 when they took on Rutgers, the lone win in the Aviation Bowl in 1961.
Design draw for Carlos Davis for the first time today, and takes it out to the 15-yard line for a gain of 8. Yeah, 2,137 miles away. UMass made the trip to New Mexico State earlier this season. That was not an easy journey. You travel well, Gresh, but it still takes a toll on the body.
No question. And going west to east, I would dare say more difficult than going east to west.
So 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Little reverse to Simpson, trying to get into open space. Sheds off one defender and goes all the way down to the 2-yard line. Second carry of the day for Simpson, and it's another good one, a pickup of 13.
Great sleight of hand in terms of handling the ball by Carlos Davis, but watch number 4, George Johnson. Look at that effort right there. Look at him just wipe out Christian Ellis to be able to make a way for Simpson to get up the field. You don't run on the edges and with your wide receivers if your other wide receivers aren't willing to sell out and block.
So this is where UMass has fallen short this season at the goal line in these short yardage situations. They'll line up K'Ron Lynch-Adams as the back. Simpson in motion. Give to Adams up the middle, and he gets turned aside. Nowhere to go for him. Big stop again for Christian Ellis, along with Hunter Rapola in on the tackle.
Rapola, number 97. He just kind of got pushed around a little bit. It looked like it was Tyler Keene or Gabriel Lopez. Gabriel Lopez been flying around.
Been a beast up front. Man. Same with Riley.
99 zipping around in white.
Second and goal from the 2. See if they can do this again. Ahead of steam this time. And finally, Massachusetts breaks through. It's a touchdown for the Minutemen. K'Ron Lynch-Adams finds pay dirt here in the second quarter. That had to feel good for UMass.
Well, they needed that in a big way. And K'Ron Lynch-Adams didn't even really have to put the shoulder down very much to be able to get into the end zone. Nice job up the middle. Left guard Cole Garcia. The center Josh Atwood, who's been around here for a while. Good movement for Lynch-Adams to get in the end zone.
K'Ron Lynch-Adams, another touchdown run for him. His 8th career rushing touchdown. Cam Carson makes it a 14-7 contest. We'll take a look at the UMass 5 drive summary when we come back. It's 14-7. Lobos with the ball when we return from Amherst.
We know you're busier than ever before, caring for your children, your parents, or a loved one. And don't forget about yourself. You deserve a health plan that guides you along the way and helps you make the decisions that matter most. Health New England has options designed to meet the needs of everyone in your life. We'll be here for you every step of the way. Get a health plan that grows with you. Health New England, where you matter.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New
Union of Massachusetts Athletics, UMass 5 College Credit Union offering co-op advantage checking with cash back on all purchases, plus secure debit card controls, all from the UMass 5 mobile banking app, insured by NCUA. Learn more at umass5.coop. 9 plays, 68 yards. Nice looking drive there for the Minutemen, Gresh.
Very much so, punching it in the end zone with K'Ron Lynch-Adams driving it in. And yes, those people sitting in the rain, ladies and gentlemen, in New Mexico, they're as miserable as they look.
Have not been blessed by great weather here so far this season. Good news is we've got 2 more after today, back-to-back here at home, a 22-yard return. And back to the offense for the Lobos and Hopkins, who's been 4 of 5 through the air so far today, 91 yards. And a touchdown.
Well, and Jay, and now that the rain starts to fall, does that change anything for the New Mexico Lobos offensively in terms of throwing the ball with that guy, Dylan Hopkins? Now, again, it isn't pouring down rain like it was 2 weeks ago, but there's still plenty of moisture, cold, and just rawness in the air that it does make you wonder if the team from the warmer climate might have might have to make an adjustment here.
The lone large run was Krosky Merritt, and they'll give it to him. He slipped on the turf and has nothing to show for it. Maybe a yard and a half on first down, and that's where UMass defensively so far today has done a good job getting that push up front.
Yeah, Marcus Bradley, Billy Wooden, Cletus Matherin, those guys do a great job up the middle, especially Wooden and Matherin. Boy, those guys are beasts.
And welcome back Hugo Klages, who had missed the past 3 games. White is the tailback now. And we've got a flag down on the far side.
And I think this might – I don't know if this is going to go against UMass or not, because I don't know if the defender crossed the line of scrimmage but did lunge forward.
Offside. Defense, number 1, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
I didn't know if number 1, Marcus Bradley, Jay, had crossed the line of scrimmage or not.
It was the offsides on the last drive for New Mexico that set up a 2nd and 1 and led to the long touchdown run for Krosky Merritt.
Yeah, there it was. Yeah, you saw it when the hands landed in the neutral zone and across the line of scrimmage. Good job by our crew right there, and a nice job by J.C. Davis to point that out to get New Mexico a free 5 yards.
There's Bradley, the redshirt sophomore now, joined UMass last year after a year at Vanderbilt. They hand it off to White up the middle, gets greeted by Jarrell Johnson on a shoulder pad, but he carries the pile out to the 39-yard line and a pickup of 7.
Jay, you mentioned the center, C.J. James. He's a Massachusetts guy. And then you got the left guard, Tito Stafford. Nice job at the line of scrimmage to open it up. And then you see White just drop the shoulder to be able to get a couple extra yards. But it all starts up front. Center guard getting it done, and then White running with purpose.
So New Mexico continues to move the football. And they'll play action. Hopkins looking downfield. He's going to take a shot, and we got a lot of contact. That was too easy to see. On the pass interference was looking for Hickson. And Jalon Farrell had a hand of his jersey on the way down.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, I guess it's going to be on Teray Powell, who was the first to make contact there.
Yeah, and I thought this really was a hold more than a pass interference because look at the grab right there, okay? So that means it doesn't matter whether the ball is catchable or not. Powell's clearly got a hold of him. You can go PI or any of that, but to me, when you grab, I think that's the wrong enforcement of the call right there. However, you could see that Powell knew he was beat and was like, let me grab this guy to make sure I don't give up 7.
Teray Powell has been a key part of the secondary for the Minutemen in his 3rd year at UMass. Now 28 career games. 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. And we'll blow this one dead.
They're going to get number 8 on a false start here for running motion.
73 offense.
Oh.
Penalty. Still first down.
So they got 73 the right tackle, but Jay, if you watch, it was number 8, Jeremiah Hickson, going in motion. He started towards the line of scrimmage, and that's where I thought it might have come from. So 73 the right tackle on the right side of your screen right here.
A little movement there.
I mean, that was just the hold, couldn't hold your water moment. But I think the bigger thing, and if I'm on the UMass sidelines, I am screaming, hey, listen, that's illegal motion from Hickson.
He's cut into the line of scrimmage.
You know what? The Miami Dolphins did that in week 1 with Tyreek Hill a bunch. There was a whole video online about it. If you can get away with it, you got to alert the refs.
All to the air again. Hopkins will chuck it deep once more. He's got Hickson. It's bobbled and incomplete, nearly intercepted. Hickson on the verge of a phenomenal catch, and then Farrell right there to try and haul in the INT.
That's going to be one that Don Brown is going to be wishing Jalen Farrell had back. Teray Powell on the coverage does a good job and then hits you right in the hands, and Farrell can't bring it down. This is one of those that is tailor-made interceptions. How many times have we seen that across college and pro football where the ball ends up getting hit up in the air and the defender's got a chance to snag it? Farrell can't complete the play right there.
Tasty for the transfer from UConn.
And had he intercepted it, it wouldn't have been devastating from a field position standpoint for New Mexico, up 7 on the road.
Yeah, could have just acted as a punt. But
exactly.
Of course, on first down, now 2nd and 15 here in the second quarter. Play action again to the near side, looking for Medford, and Rutherford had him smothered this time. Medford had the 2 big catches on the touchdown run. We'll take a look at how UMass is able to turn these deflections, Gresh. They do a great job of this and turning them into points.
Well, Deshaun Jerkins, who is not playing today, you can see the ball gets tipped up into the air, and then there's Jerkins down the sideline. Now, how does this happen? There are people around the football, just like it was there when Farrell couldn't make the play. Why did Jerkins get that pick 6? Because UMass has people around the football all the time. It's a big mentality within the Don Brown defense.
3rd and 15, White the running back. Again, Hopkins to the air. It is reeled in and caught by Deuce Jones for the first down inside the 20. A phenomenal catch of 34 yards.
A pretty ball here by Dylan Hopkins to lay it out for Deuce Jones to make a fantastic catch. Jones working against number 8, Tristan Armstrong. And look at that. That ball just laid out there. Nice job by Jones. If you're going to go up with one hand, your hands ain't big enough to grab the ball by its side. You got to point it and you got to bring it into yourself and then make the play with your other hand.
Out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 1st and 10 now all the way to the 16. It was looking dire on this drive for New Mexico moments ago. They'll turn, give it to White, and White is stacked up and dropped at the line of scrimmage. UMass has been very aggressive in the run game. Wooden along with Dominic Schofield.
But
2nd and 10.
And Jay, some of the injuries are sort of showing up on the back end. No Jordan Mahoney. You see the New Mexico offense go after Tristan Armstrong, the backup. Tyler Rudolph, one of your more veteran safeties, injured earlier today. Jalen Farrell forced into the lineup, so you're starting to get thin on the back end of this UMass defense.
Under 10 to go here in the first half. In the red zone for the Lobos. And they'll flip it to Hickson on the reverse sweep. Hickson trying to get the edge. He does. Tiptoeing the far sideline. Hurdles a man, and a flag coming in late. That was a lot of action for Hickson. He made the jump to get inside the 10-yard line. And that looked dangerous on the hit, a pickup of 11.
Jay, we got 2 flags. One is near the point of contact out of bounds, and I don't know if the other official was tacking on.
Unnecessary roughness, number 22, defense. Penalties half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
And this is Jarrell Johnson number 22, who's going to make the hit out of bounds, but you can check out Jeremiah Hickson. He finds a way around the end, and then when he leaves the feet, the foot hits down out of bounds, because I thought for a second there when Hickson went into the air, that's when Johnson hit him. No, it was when his foot landed, then he ended up giving him the hit. That's an easy call for this crew.
And it was that little shoulder dip. They'll be reviewing this.
For possible targeting.
All right, possible targeting. Jeremiah Hickson was trying to get the edge on Luce Julian, the redshirt freshman from New Jersey, and he kind of did a little shoulder dip, and Julian kind of went after it, and that allowed him to get around the defenders on the outside.
And that's a good play call there as well, and you could see in the secondary, no Mahoney, no Deshaun Jerkins, and no Noah Boykin. So you're really chewing into the defensive depth. You see Cletus Matherin there talking to the defense, trying to keep everybody up and going, understanding the situation that they're in. That's also a really good play call from New Mexico offensive coordinator Bryant Vincent to be able to hit a heavy flow UMass. They've been selling out hard against the run, so here we go. Let's hit them with a reverse coming back to the other side.
We're adding Tyler Rudolph to that list as well. You mentioned offensive coordinator Bryant Vincent. He took over as the interim coach a year ago at UAB. Of course, UAB, a rapid rise, bringing the program back and now joining the American Conference. And he was there 5 years as the OC, interim head coach last year when Bill Clark stepped down due to health issues. And he joins this team that had lost the final 9 games of the season last year. They were 2-10. And that's where both of these coaches looking at this game saying this is a must-win if we want to accomplish what we want to accomplish, and that's going to a bowl this year.
Yeah, and both coaches have been open in talking about and mentioning trying to be bowl eligible this season, which would be immensely quick turnarounds, really for Don Brown, but also for Danny Gonzalez as well. The first year he takes over, it's the COVID year. And then it's like, oh, boy, what are we going to do?
Yep.
I mean, it's almost like you stopped down and kind of got a mulligan year. So you get the growth of the program stunted a little bit, and Gonzalez here has done a nice job. I do not think this is targeting, by the way.
There is no targeting on the play. First and goal, New Mexico.
Yeah, I thought that was an easy call. I understand that we have to review all those plays now and all that kind of stuff, but to me that was a pretty easy one on site.
Well, what it's done, that play is set up goal to go here for this New Mexico team.
On the previous play.
Just a fact check, no targeting.
Hey, listen, sometimes you got to drive the point home, Jay.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
This New Mexico team brought in 30 transfers, which now is not unusual. 3 from Alabama State, we talked about. And they'll bring in Dorian Lewis as the running back from the 4-yard line. Approaching 9:20 to play here in the first half. Lobos trying to go back up by 2 scores. And they'll keep it here for Hopkins. Gets to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown on the QB keep. A 4-yard TD run for Dylan Hopkins. And New Mexico responds with a 75-yard touchdown drive.
That was a fantastic play fake, and I'm going to say a lot of you watching at home focused on the running back trying to get into the end zone that got tackled on this play, because I know I did. That's a heck of a play fake there by Dylan Hopkins. You don't think of Dylan Hopkins, Jay, as a guy in the zone read game that'll pull it down and run it in for himself. UMass tried to go one-on-one there. Hopkins does a nice job of finding his way into the end zone, and a heck of a play fake as well.
And this offense, as we mentioned, moving the football without Luke Wysong as their Swiss Army knife. And slot and punt returns and kick returns. Extra point is up, and it is good. And that'll take us to another media timeout. So 9:09 to go here in the first half. New Mexico.
Dignity, safety, respect, and a chance to do more than just get by, but to get ahead.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Well, how about a New Mexico and the Lobos? 28 points per game so far this season. They've got 21 here in the first half. Both these teams really struggled a year ago to cross that 12.5, 13-point threshold, and they're doing it points yards, rushing, passing, and Hopkins has been a big difference maker for New Mexico. 5 of 8 through the air and 125 yards in his first season with the Lobos. He has looked sharp. So the Minutemen will try to run this one out. DeWozier, we got a flag down. DeWozier across the 50, trying to beat the last man and cannot, deep into New Mexico territory. However, for the Minutemen, before they celebrate, let's check on the marker.
Well, Jay, I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings for Minutemen fans, but this one's coming back. Looked like a block in the back to me, or a hold, one of the two.
This has been
likely
a struggle
to get
for
a
UMass.
hold.
Yep, the special teams aspect.
During the return, holding, number 6, return team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, that will negate a 68-yard kickoff return. Jeremiah McGill, defensive back, special teams player, hit with the offense, and so UMass will have to go a little further than they thought. Take a look back here.
So you're going to see the flags come flying in. Actually, there were a couple of holds on that play. Once we end up checking the replay, difficult to see exactly where the McGill hold was, but I saw at least 2 more that could have been called there, unfortunately for the Minutemen, and now they go from being in Lobos territory to back on the 19-yard line.
So back at it, Carlos Davis, 4 of 6 through the air so far today, 48 yards. K'Ron Lynch-Adams, the back. I'll give it to K'Ron Lynch-Adams, and he goes right up the middle and gets out for a couple of yards, 3 yards on first down. The stop here for Riley. He's been active on the defensive line from the Lobos today.
Well, I know the Minutemen came out first play of the game, Jay, and took a deep shot, and ever since, we really haven't seen UMass try to press the ball down the field, but that early shot also hasn't opened up very much underneath in the passing game either.
So 2nd and 7. They'll try the right side. Little hesitation move. K'Ron Lynch-Adams breaks free. K'Ron Lynch-Adams dragging a couple of defenders all the way out to the 45-yard line. A pickup of 21.
And this is one of those plays, Jay, where the motion affected the player who could have been there to make the tackle. Noah Pola-Gates, number 9, ends up following the motion player. See how he has to come back into the play. He reacted to Anthony Simpson in motion, and when Lynch-Adams busted out, there was no one there.
Longest play of the day for Massachusetts. Lynch-Adams again trying to shed defenders, stepping over a few at the line, and picks up 4. And it's his patience, I think, that's what's so impressive when I watch him run.
Jay, he's healthy. And you and I have seen a lot of K'Ron Lynch-Adams, and when he's healthy, he dances in the hole. He'll try to make people miss. We've seen a lot of times where he hasn't been 100%. This year he's been healthy, and you could see he does provide that missability in between the tackles, which is rare.
They'll put Simpson in motion, back to throw. Davis, pressure comes. He steps up, trying to take off, looking for the first down marker. He's got it and bullies his way inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. A big pickup of 16 for Carlos Davis.
And Carlos Davis working the officials there at the end of that run to try to get the face mask call, but this is good recognition from a senior quarterback right away. Here comes the blitz. He knows it isn't there, works around Lynch-Adams, runs past the defensive lineman, and then you see him covering up and trying to take care of the ball there at the end of the play. Nice job by Carlos Davis of not panicking in the pocket and just chucking it up somewhere he shouldn't have.
And when you compare Davis to the starting quarterback week 0, Tyson Pumachong, you feel like maybe the run game is where Pumachong has the edge. We've seen Davis with a couple of big runs today. He stays upright, bounces to the outside, looking for a block downfield from Campiati, and he'll turn a negative into a positive on Davis using his legs for 7 more yards.
Davis felt the pressure from the right side, Jay, and boy, oh boy, it was coming hot. And Davis does a nice job of getting out of the pocket, and a good job there, Jay, of highlighting Gino Campiati, because he just turned right into a blocker. Let's remember, Campiati was a quarterback, now playing tight end, so there is that heady awareness on the outside.
They love Gino Campiati here in Amherst. He does so many things so well. He is the prototypical football player as they give it to K'Ron Lynch-Adams again. Head of steam up the middle, and Marenko comes up to make the stop near the line of gain, a pickup of almost 4 yards, looking for the first down.
Well, this is the kind of pace with which UMass wants to play with, Jay, where it's a little slower, it's a little more plodding. I know they've given up some pressures, and Davis has done a nice job here around midfield of getting out of the pocket, but you can see offensive coordinator Steve Kasula slowing things down a little bit. They're starting to move the chains with K'Ron Lynch-Adams. This is the style in which they want to play this game.
We'll see how this defensive line for the Lobos will be able to kind of deal with this fast pace. Key, the nose tackle, has had a good game so far for the Lobos, and they'll keep it to Davis. Davis right up the middle. And now you're starting to see maybe a little bit of a different element here for Davis.
Well, and it's funny, Jay, because during the week, Danny Gonzalez mentioned that if Tyson Pumachan plays, then the quarterback run, which was a problem for New Mexico last week against New Mexico State, would be something they would have to worry about a little bit more. It may be as simple, Jay, as just giving Carlos Davis the opportunity to run the ball, because New Mexico was thinking with Davis he was going to be throwing it more. So there might be opportunity here for the Minutemen.
Couple of big runs on this drive for Davis. 2nd and 6. Davis looking for the end zone, has a man open, and it is a touchdown for Massachusetts. 24 yards to Christian Wells, the big play receiver in the transfer from App State.
Wells gets his first score of the year to join his mates Mark Pope, Anthony Simpson, and George Johnson one-on-one. Davis knew exactly where he was going with the ball. Great job by Wells of getting open against Zach Morris. The Minutemen have not been afraid to attack number 2 Zach Morris today in the passing game, and we get a ball game.
Christian Wells is such an impact player. Extra point is up, and it's good. Wells gets a touchdown. He had 10 of them at App State. As you mentioned, he gets his first here with Massachusetts. 4:22 to go here in the half. It's 21-14, New Mexico with the lead and the football. When we come back, Davis finds pay dirt with Wells.
The reviews are in. The Mass Lottery's first $50 instant game is the must-have scratch.
Well, the Hangar Pub and Grill's the official game day hangout of Massachusetts Athletics and features 6 great locations across Western Mass.
And the official hangout of Jay Burnham.
That's where we will be after this one. How about that drive for the Minutemen? 8 plays, 81 yards, and the touchdown for Wells. So the Lobos will try to respond up 21-14. East Longmeadow's C.J. Kaloji will kick this one away, and Dorian Lewis will retrieve it at the 4. He's going to bring it out, and he's upended. We've got a flag as well at the 23-yard line. We've talked about this offense for the Lobos. It's been the big plays today, and it started on the second drive of the afternoon. Medford got it going with a couple of the big catches. Caleb Medford.
Holding, return team, number 15, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Big first down.
Well, the hold will be on Hunter Wiggins, the freshman special teams. And we talk about Medford with some big plays. And really, Gresh, 3-4 plays have defined the offense so far for New Mexico.
Yep, there's Hopkins getting the ball down the field to Medford over the middle. Here's the touchdown throw, one-on-one to Medford, working against Tristan Armstrong. Back down the field once again. You think he is going to Medford, but instead it's Jeremiah Hickson who ends up making the catch. Deuce Jones with a catch in there as well.
That catch from Deuce Jones was a game changer for New Mexico, but now the Lobos have to be careful here because UMass has a couple of timeouts, 4:17 on the clock. And they'll hand it off. White looking for some space, and he gets out past the 10-yard line, a pickup of 3 on first down.
And Jay, it's a good point in terms of if you're New Mexico, you got to be aware of kind of down distance and the field position at this point, because the earlier punt from Aaron Rodriguez, not a great one. And we know it's kind of moist and gross and cold here in Amherst today. That always affects the kicking game.
Sherrod White, a tailback again. 3:45 to go in this first half. Keep in mind, UMass will get the ball to start the second half. Lobos up by 7. They'd love a first down on this drive. And they'll put Hickson in motion. They'll give it to the back end. White breaks free across the 20 and out for the first down, a pickup of 8. And some space now for New Mexico.
Yeah, a little bit of an over pursuit there by number 5 in the middle, Tyler Martin, the 250-pounder. Watch him kind of get picked up on the run blitz. And then there's the run on the backside.
And that you can see that tackle for Teray Powell. He's the injured player for UMass, and that's, again, certainly not something you want to see for the Minutemen. So we'll step aside, timeout on the field.
Timeout.
Lobos moving when we come back.
Your first home sees a lot of firsts. From first loves to first steps. And with the Home Depot, you'll find the confidence to create the first place you call your own. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Honda's hybrid game is strong with Honda Accord and CR-V hybrids on the field. Honda hybrids never need to be plugged in. The onboard system charges the battery for you. Go further with hybrids that get up to 46 miles per gallon and 614 miles per tank. Plus, get 2 years of complimentary maintenance, oil changes, tire rotations, and more. It's game on. Drive a Honda hybrid at your local Honda dealer today.
Some people just know that's not gonna fit. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate.
That's not gonna fit.
What's that?
You need another 4 inches.
You work here?
Nope. I just saw you there and I thought I'd save you the trouble. Nana.
She's a human measuring tape and she knows Allstate is the right fit for her.
It's not gonna fit. That's not gonna fit.
What?
Steven.
Some people just know.
Well played. Well played, my friend.
Those are the people who know you're in good hands with Allstate.
Hey, I'm Elizabeth, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the collab of flavors. The sweet honey, the pickled jalapeno peppers, and the creamy pimento cheese. It is a perfect bite.
Hey y'all, this is Ronte, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the richness of the pimento cheese. When I took a first bite, I was like, go, go, go cheese, go pimento, go honey, go chicken, go get it.
Here's a wild idea. Make today epic. Go on, dig in, and you'll see. It's wild what you and a real Kodiak breakfast can do.
21-14, New Mexico over UMass, and good news for the UMass secondary. Teray Powell will come back into the game. Looked like he was poked in the eye or got some of the black beads from the turf stuck in his eye. They used some eye wash. He'll be back out there.
A little flea flicker here as Hopkins takes a shot, has Erickson wide open. Daylight caught inside the 30, and the trick play works for the Lobos. They take it all the way down to the 25-yard line, a 53-yard connection.
Massive play right there, and a great play call from offensive coordinator Bryant Vincent. The flea flicker pulls the secondary up. Good job by White. Nice protection as well. Number 84, Wyatt McClure, one of the tight ends getting in there to make a tough block to give Hopkins enough time to get it down the field.
Erickson had 3 catches last week, including a touchdown against New Mexico State. Here's Henry, the running back, who had been dealing with injury throughout the offseason. Pushes his way forward for a gain of 2, and that just changes entirely how you play the rest of this first half, Gresh.
No question. And here's another look at the flea flicker one more time. You can see all the UMass defenders in chase. And Jay, I completely agree. you're thinking about UMass, if you're using your 2 timeouts differently, you know the clock is winding down. UMass is getting the ball to start the second half, but you've got to be able to hold New Mexico to a field goal here from the UMass end.
Hopkins had the rushing touchdown as well. Came away with a big win last year for UAB in the Bahamas Bowl. He's going to roll out right, dumps it off. That is complete to the tight end before Powell, who's back out there, steps up to make the stop. Trace Bruckler makes the catch, but a loss of a couple, and that's the first reception of the season for the tight ends for the Lobos.
Jay, I was about to mention that. I couldn't find a tight end that had a catch through the first couple of weeks in this New Mexico offense, and now getting it out there to Bruckler and putting this Lobos offense into a negative situation. They go backwards, and now sitting at 3rd and 10. Don Brown not electing to call a timeout here, so the clock is wound down inside a minute to go.
Not wanting to give New Mexico extra time, I guess. And they'll take this all the way down.
New Mexico probably takes down, calls timeout here.
Well, 3rd and 10, they'll snap it. Hopkins going to step up and run, weaves his way to the outside. He's got room inside the 10, knocks over Rutherford, and has the first down for a gain of 16.
You know, I thought on 3rd and 10 it was going to be, well, let's regather here, run the clock down, let's give us a chance to find the best play, and they did, and it was Dylan Hopkins, and this is a draw, folks. You saw the offensive lineman release up the field. You saw number 9, Sherrod White, the running back, release up the field. Another great play call from Bryant Vincent, this time catching UMass, sleeping a little bit, not thinking that the senior Dylan Hopkins would run that ball in that spot.
Well, you had mentioned not really known for rushing the football. He's had a couple of savvy moves out of the backfield today. So 1st and goal from the 7. The give is to White, untouched, touchdown Lobos with 35 seconds to go, and they march 90 yards down the field here at the end of the first half.
Well, and that's also a back-breaking drive against this UMass defense. This UMass defense had been great at generating turnovers. They'd been great at the turnovers, and here's the draw once again to be able to get into scoring range. But for this UMass defense, an absolute backbreaker, a 90-yard drive where you get beat on a gimmick play.
4th career touchdown for White, and the extra point is good. So that flipped the script of this game, and in this second quarter, it is now 28-14 with 35 seconds to go. And as you mentioned, UMass gets the football to start the second half, but a big run for White to give him a little space on a 9-yard pickup. That set up the flea flicker, and the Lobos able to execute.
Yeah, and that flea flicker was massive, but then the couple of runs from Dylan Hopkins after that as well, Jay. The big 3rd and 10 run from Hopkins. You know, Dylan Hopkins came in with only 25 yards rushing on the season. And then here is the run to White. Look at the offensive line. Do a really nice job of washing down this UMass defensive front to make sure that White can end up getting into the end zone. And Hopkins, 7 of 10 for 174 yards passing and a touchdown. And he's killing you on the ground as well.
Yeah, had that 4-yard touchdown run, then picks up the big 14-yard first down pickup to set up 1st and goal. And so the Minutemen are hoping for another big return from DeWosier that will stand this time. Trailing by 2 scores, 28-14. Drzwicki will pooch this one. And a fair catch called for by the Minutemen at the 26-yard line, so nothing there on the return. And UMass will have 35 seconds left here. Gresh, do you try to open something up, or you just say, hey, this is it?
No, I think, maybe you run one play here. I know that UMass does have 2 timeouts in the back pocket. If Cameron Carson had hit his earlier field goal try, I might feel a little different if I'm Don Brown down on the sideline, or maybe trying to make something happen. I know with a couple of timeouts, you don't want those clock stoppages. New Mexico does have all 3 timeouts here, Jay, so it's a little dicey as to UMass not putting the ball on the ground in this situation.
We'll see what Davis and company come up with here. They'll just give it to K'Ron Lynch-Adams. Yeah. Spinning out of 1 tackle, but then gets wrapped up by Marenko.
And if you're Danny Gonzalez on the other side for New Mexico, Jay, you are not calling timeouts right now. Your team has played a heck of a first half, gone on the road and put up 28 points points, where there was so much in the Eastern time zone, so much talk going in. 268 total yards for the Lobos in this first half.
I'd say that's the number I'm looking at here for the Lobos, the amount of yardage they've been able to gain. Here's K'Ron Lynch-Adams again fighting through contact, and that will indeed take us to the half. We're going to have a couple of words here from head coach Don Brown on the UMass side. A little scrum after that play as Lynch-Adams took a hit that UMass deemed late. But overall, the Lobos, a great showing, 268 yards of total offense. It is halftime from Amherst. We'll have an interview with K'Ron Lynch-Adams as well coming up at the half. Stats and highlights from this one as we get a word from head coach Don Brown and Matt Goldstein. But the Minutemen defense unable to turn over New Mexico. Had it close a couple of times, couldn't come away with it. And the Lobos utilizing a huge 3rd and 4th down stop early on in the first half to dictate how this first 30 minutes has gone. Let's send it down to the sidelines with Coach Don Brown and Matt Goldstein. Guys.
Injuries in the secondary. How do you slow down the big plays?
Well, we've been trying to mix, coverage, 4-man rush type coverage, 5-man rush coverage. We've got some things some guys are learning on the run out there as well.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Some guys are learning on the fly. That's
not a happy
what
man
you want
right
to
there.
have to see if you're the Minutemen. Meanwhile, UMass, from the defensive perspective, have given up some big plays to this New Mexico team. Halftime from McGurk. We'll hear from K'Ron Lynch-Adams around the corner. Coming up next.
Honda's hybrid game is strong with Honda Accord and CR-V hybrids on the field. Honda hybrids never need to be plugged in. The onboard system charges the battery for you. Go further with hybrids that get up to 46 miles per gallon and 614 miles per tank. Plus, get 2 years of complimentary maintenance, oil changes, tire rotations, and more. It's game on. Drive a Honda hybrid at your local Honda dealer today.
Some people just know there's a podcast about that. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate.
Big tea drinker?
Yeah.
There's a podcast about tea.
He knows, and he wants you to know too.
I was listening to a podcast on if dogs know their dogs.
There's a podcast about that?
Just like he'd want you to know about Allstate.
There's upfield, still going and down to the 40. We'll check on the marker. As it stands right now, a return of 31 yards.
Yeah, that was a 20-yard throw of the flag by the field judge there.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 37, return team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
That's taken away some big plays for the Massachusetts special teams. There's the stats. Third downs, big. UMass 0 for on the 4th down conversion as well. But this Lobos air attack has taken advantage of a depleted UMass secondary.
And the big chunk play on the flea flicker there, about 50 of those 174 yards for the Lobos came on that play, which flipped the field and led to a late first half touchdown for the Lobos to make it 28-14, and that is a big swing in this game.
So they'll mark it back to the 15-yard line. Here's Carlos Davis back to work. Looking to throw, has time, chucks it deep. Mark Pope is there, and Mark Pope reels it in inside the 40 and all the way down to the 31-yard line. There's the big play that UMass missed on their first play of the day. We'll send it down to Matt Goldstein on a 54-yard pickup. Davis to Mark Pope. Goldie.
Guys, talking to head coach Danny Gonzalez from New Mexico, he said for New Mexico, they've been able to take advantage of the speed on the outside. He thought the receivers had a little bit more speed than the defensive backs of UMass. He said defensively, this drive was a key. They needed to get a stop early on and get off the field. And one interesting note as well, as we were walking onto the field, the starting right guard, Shanko Matatia of New Mexico, tripped. He was a little bit banged up. He's on the bike right now trying to get that knee to see if he's able to play.
Ooh, that's one you'd hope no one's around to see or witness, unfortunately for him. And so we'll see how that affects their offense. Meanwhile, 2-yard pickup for K'Ron Lynch-Adams. UMass with the big play. Carlos Davis operating the offense. Third consecutive start for the Western Carolina transfer. He's going to fling it. Wells in the end zone. Incomplete. See how Davis, he's not shy.
No, and he shouldn't be. Down the 2 touchdowns here at home, and the ability to win one-on-one on the outside. Davis, that ball's just a little outside the, but again, that's where you're supposed to throw it. It's your guy gets it or no one does, and the ball is a little deep. A little shove there at the end by Zach Morris.
So 3rd and 8 from the 29-yard line, first possession of the second half. We've got movement, and they'll whistle this one dead.
Boy, Jay, if there's one thing that has been consistent with UMass at times is as soon as the penalties start,
Snap
they come in droves.
Snapper, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Now, the centers are people, too, referee Gary Patterson. You know, to just
Josh
say that
Atwood.
the snapper was, yeah, he's got a number and a family.
A name and a person.
Really.
You know, Pete Brock, who does the radio broadcast for us, who spent over a decade with the Patriots in the NFL, tells me the snapper can never be wrong. It's never his fault.
You know what? It really is true.
Now 3rd and 13. They'll whip it to the outside. Simpson trying to go outside the numbers. Big stiff arm. Stays on his feet. He's got the first down. Dancing out of bounds inside the 20-yard line.
You know, there was a play earlier today, Jay, where number 4, George Johnson III, did the work on the outside to spring Anthony Simpson. Watch what happens here. This time it's Gino Campiotti, and then it is Simpson doing the work on the outside, winning a one-on-one battle. You see Johnson, he had a block there as well. So once again, it's Campiotti and Johnson blocking for Simpson to make an athletic play for a first down.
Noah Pola Gates was the man that got stiff-armed, allowing UMass to continue this drive from the 18-yard line. Give it to him again. He cuts upfield, takes a hard hit inside the 15-yard line. Tavian Combs comes up to make the stop, a gain of 4.
Can I just tell you, I love that run. Not because of the call, none of that stuff. You know why? Because that guy right there, Anthony Simpson, he got the ball and he turned upfield. How many of these guys go north to, they don't go north to south on those. It's an east-west play, and they never turn it hard upfield. Simpson saw the hole and got the yards. I love it.
And give him 5 to the 13-yard line. UMass moving the ball efficiently here. Just underway in half number 2 from McGurk. Davis back to throw. He'll take a shot to the end zone. It's Simpson again, and in coverage, Christian Ellis has a huge day so far today.
Little hands across America there, I thought at times. And here is the run play. Look at this. Right up the field. Protect the football, make contact. I hate it when wide receivers make it easy for defenses to string that play out, and you can see Simpson needs a blow. He is gassed after participating in this drive.
Looking for another 3rd down conversion. UMass trying to get some movement along the defensive line. Lobos defensively have been big up the middle on the interior. Gabriel Lopez leading the way today. 3rd and 5. They'll try the end zone once more, and it is incomplete. Sean Harris Jr. didn't have the best angle on that. And once more, it's Christian Ellis on the defense. 4th and 5.
Well, they try a little stutter and kind of corner route there. If you could see Sean Harris in the slot, you see him motor down, and then he breaks to the corner of the end zone. Nice job by Lynch-Adams in protection there, and UMass is going to settle for the field goal.
They felt they took 2 shots. They opted not to run after the handoff to Simpson. 32-yard field goal attempt for Cam Carson, who missed back in the first half. Snap is down. Carson gets into it a little better this time, and it is good. So Cam Carson puts up 3 for Massachusetts here to start the second half, and it's 28-17 The Minutemen get points, and we will take a break. Lobos will try to respond from Amherst when we return with 12:08 to go in the third.
We know you're busier than ever before, caring for your children, your parents, or a loved one. And don't forget about yourself. You deserve a health plan that guides you along the way and helps you make the decisions that matter most. Health New England has options designed to meet the needs of everyone in your life. We'll be here for you every step of the way. Get a health plan that grows with you. Health New England, where you matter.
We're the team behind your team and your school. We're also the team our customers rely on. Wherever things are getting done, powered up, and made better with Caterpillar equipment in the Northeast, you'll find Milton Cat, the team prepared for every challenge. Milton Cat, always ready.
Single game tickets for Massachusetts football are on sale now. Join us for all 6 home games at McGurk Alumni Stadium and cheer on the Minutemen this season. Amherst is the place to be on Saturdays in the Pioneer Valley, so get your Massachusetts football tickets now by visiting umassathletics.com/tickets or by calling 1-866-UMass-TIX. Go UMass!
Oh, 32-yard field goal made by Cam Carson. There's a former Massachusetts kicker, our sideline reporter Matt Goldstein. But did you know he also kicked for New Mexico? A man of many talents.
Or just 2 different locations. I mean, I don't know if we have to heap the talents thing on, you know?
As Matt Goldstein has been with us here, also does PA over at the Mullins Center for hockey and basketball. Line drive kick.
Oh, touched it. Got to play
up. And here comes Deuce Jones trying to make something out of it, and he does. Gets all the way out to the 25-yard line. A man that kicked at New Mexico. We said these 2 teams and programs have never played one another. This is the first meeting. But there's Matt looking good in the Lobos uniform, and then transferred his way here to Massachusetts. Big kicks for the Minutemen.
The forearm wristbands would be the question for Goldstein there.
Here we go for the Lobos. 28-17 with the lead. Hopkins back to work. I'll turn and hand it off, and this is a guy who's not been as active as we thought today. A pickup of 6. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt twirls his way out to the 30.
So you got wind, moisture, rain, cold, grossness normally in the Northeast. So Goldstein, what's the difference between kicking in the desert and kicking here?
Altitude in Albuquerque was a little bit higher, so the ball might have traveled a little bit more out there than here in Amherst, that's for sure.
It's like hitting homers at Mile High Stadium, right? Or in Coors Field. Little boost for the kicker. That's an awkward play, something amiss, and now Hopkins will try to keep it alive and slide out to the 31-yard line, a gain of 1.
Yeah, the fact that Hopkins even got any positive yards on that play after what looked like either he went the wrong way or the running back might have gone the wrong way. But we mentioned earlier about having senior quarterbacks, and yeah, that looks like Hopkins just kind of turned the wrong way, heady enough to be able to work it around the outside and get a couple of yards there.
So big third down here for New Mexico. UMass forced a punt back in the first half. Lobos trying to keep the ball moving from the 31-yard line, 3rd and 4. And it's White the back again. They'll give it to him right side, and White gets to the line again and then some, still on his feet, and all the way out to the 45-yard line. He did it 4, and he picks up 13 on 3rd down.
You know, we talk so much about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt coming into the game. Sherrod White is the guy that has really stood out. Look at UMass. They bring pressure from the backside on the front side. Boy, that hole just opens up massive. Great job by the New Mexico offensive line. Very easy for Sherrod White to get through. Look at that. I mean, that is a big play, and able to keep the forward momentum and get an extra 4 yards after contact.
White now at 50 yards on the ground so far today. Hopkins 174 through the air on just 7 completions. 1st and 10. They'll give it to him again right up the middle into Massachusetts territory, and nearly a 1st down. They'll give it to him 10 yards on the pickup for White.
And Jay, we're now getting to the point to where Don Brown's going to have to challenge his defense to stop this run. Nice job by the offensive line of getting a hat on a hat. Good job by the center, C.J. James, of moving up to the next level to be able to block the linebacker. And Don Brown's either going to have to start to play the run more aggressively or just challenge his guys to play better up front. His bigs are getting pushed around here early in the second half.
Yeah, and the later in the game that you go, the harder it is for the defensive line. You mentioned James, happy to be back here in Western Massachusetts with New Mexico. Now Hopkins to the air. Hopkins has someone come in from behind, and they strip it, but he jumps on top of the football back to the 45, a loss of 9, but could have been worse for New Mexico.
I couldn't tell if that was Luce Julian who knocked the ball loose, number 18 for the Minutemen. Here's Hopkins in the pocket. Let's see what happened. Billy Wooden ended up getting the ball there. Yeah, right, exactly, Jay. Billy Wooden making a play. What a shocker. The 6'1", 310-pound senior. He was called out this week by Danny Gonzalez, New Mexico head coach, of being a real dog in there, and that was a dog play by Wooden. There are going to be some people at the next level that are going to keep an eye on Billy Wooden. He is a real disruptive guy. And, Jay, he's played a ton of snaps. You know, we mentioned sort of the COVID year. There are guys moving up to the next level who have a lot of experience.
On the slant, it's incomplete, looking for Jeremiah Hickson. And once again, this is where New Mexico, they get behind the sticks. They've been able to pick up the 3rd down. We go back to that huge catch made by Deuce Jones.
Yeah, and you see the strip there by Wooden, and look, the quarterback Hopkins falls on it. And to your point, Jay, you know, 2nd and 19, you figure you get some yards, you cut it down a little bit. There you get nothing. Now you're in 3rd and 19.
They got to get into UMass territory to the 36-yard line.
And New Mexico taking their time. They've been really good on offense, but this is a tough down and distance.
Lewis the back. Here's Hopkins. Hopkins, plenty of time, fires deep, and it is incomplete. Arriving on time was Teray Powell. Jeremiah Hickson was the intended target, but Powell came flying in as the ball arrived.
Powell's had a chance to make some plays here today, and there on 3rd and 19, he makes another one. Hickson, you could see Powell pick him up right there. Good no call by the officials. That was a little bit of contact there. That ball was high. I think if that ball were down a little bit more, visually the official might have said, boy, you had a chance to catch that. It was in the area, but not close enough.
Rodriguez had just a 28-yard punt first time round. Ross is there, and quickly defenders arrive on him, going backwards, and he cannot escape. Covington with the stop and a loss of 5. And so UMass will have to go the majority of the field yet again. Timeout on the field. We'll be back. UMass with the ball, down 28-17.
Officially, it's a fridge full of beer. Unofficially, it's free AC. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial. Let's go!
So slow right now. Sorry, mi amor. I tried downloading your shows, but our internet speeds are slower than normal.
Why?
Because our network gives priority to cell phone users.
Why?
Because your dad switched to T-Mobile home internet.
Why?
Yeah, honey. Why? Mommy's taking care of it when we get back.
Why get T-Mobile when Cox has 2 times faster download speeds during peak hours? Football is back. Got your new fantasy team name? Check. Grill? Check. Fancy grill? Check. Troy and Joe? Check. Bro and bro? Check. All the emotions? All season long? Check, baby.
Critics are calling The Creator the best film of the year.
Take care of her.
I promise. It is a cinematic masterpiece.
Our mission is to terminate the weapon Alpha O.
They're coming to get me.
I'm getting you out of this. It's the best sci-fi film in the past decade. See this film on the biggest screen possible.
Seatbelt.
The Creator. Rated PG-13. Friday. Get tickets now.
It's a special moment. We worked hard to get to this moment right now. He's gonna throw it. Caught. Touchdown.
The moment is here. The MLB Wildcard Series on the networks of ESPN.
Toy Story Fun Day Football, Sunday, October 1st on ESPN+.
All Massachusetts football fans, be sure to check out the UMass store. It's your one-stop shop for all things UMass football, including jerseys, custom gear, and Adidas sideline apparel. Visit us in the campus center or online at umassstore.com, the official outfitter of UMass gifts and apparel. So the second punt of the day will result in 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line for Massachusetts. They'll put Campiotti in motion. Davis back to work. He's 7 of 12 throughout the day. He'll dump it off short to Pope, who comes back and makes the catch at the 17-yard line. A pickup of 4 on first down for UMass.
Jay, good to see Mark Pope get involved for UMass from the second half on. Of course, they try to hit him on the big play, first play of the game. Come out, get it to him here in the second half. But he saw him kind of working that right leg a little bit. As you see the numbers of Carlos Davis, not bad, 146 and a touchdown.
Pope, a big-time prospect, spent 3 years at Miami. Now a handoff to Lynch Adams, looking for the outside, and he's got nowhere to go. Riley and Marenko step up, or rather, that is Dimitri Johnson, the linebacker, coming in for a loss of 2.
Well, you had both linebackers there, Jay, Dimitri Johnson and Alex Marenko, and Riley was not far off. You see number 36 right there. Really nowhere for Kayron Lynch Adams to be able to go, and here is a massive third down for the Minutemen. And if you're New Mexico, are you going to bring some heat and pressure and force a throw, or lay back and wait for a turnover?
They're showing pressure. 2 third down conversions on the day for Massachusetts out of 5. 6:35 to go here in the third quarter. 3rd and 7 from the 16-yard line.
Here comes the pressure wide. 36 going to walk off the edge.
Davis back to throw. Davis dumps it off. It is complete to Pope. And he gets to the line again. Mark Pope with a couple of catches on this sequence. And UMass picks up the first down.
A little bit of pressure here from the New Mexico defense, and the offensive line of UMass does a good job of picking it up. They don't get fooled on anything. Lynch Adams in there as well. And boy, just getting that ball out in the pocket as he was getting hit. Nice route by Mark Pope to come back and get the ball.
Gutsy stand-in for Davis. Now he'll throw it out to the far side. It's complete. Simpson driving to the outside. He gets face masked as well, and they'll tack on 15 to this. It's a pickup of 9 initially.
Yeah, that's a bad face mask, and you could see Anthony Simpson reacting to the official right there, because that wasn't just your garden variety face mask. That was a full hand tug you down type play.
Personal
Again,
foul.
trying to get the
Face
ball to
mask.
Simpson.
Number 9, defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
I'll tell you what, I wonder why. Now I get why Simpson was arguing, because he never let his hand go and he dragged him to the ground.
Yeah.
So you could argue that is face mask. It's also unnecessary roughness that could have been tacked on there as well. Normally you get your hands on it and you pull and you let go. Instead, he pulled him all the way down to the ground. So now I understand the context of why Simpson jumped up and started woofing at the ref.
There's Pola Gates, the Nebraska transfer, former 4-star recruit, nephew of Troy Polamalu. Knew a thing or two about playing defense in his day. 1st and 10 all the way out to the 48-yard line. Simpson and Pope have been featured here. UMass has not gone to the ground game, and they will keep it in the air. Pressure comes. Davis takes off, looking to pick his way across the 50 and takes a hard shot inside the 45, a gain of 8. So that's the third time in the last quarter that we've seen Davis utilize his feet.
And he does a nice job of taking care of the ball when he runs. But I'll tell you, Jay, if I'm looking to run on the outside and I'm UMass, I want George Johnson III to that play. Because once Davis got out of the pocket, Johnson III turned into a blocker right away on the left-hand side. There you see Davis squared out of the pocket, and there's Johnson squaring somebody up.
2nd and 2. They'll roll it out right side, and underneath, incomplete, had Christian Wells. Didn't give it enough time to develop there, and that'll bring up 3rd down for UMass. Now, one guy we talked about, one of the guys to watch defensively, Dante Martin, for this Lobos team. UMass has not really challenged at his side today, but they've done a good job of shuffling the receivers around.
A lot of play action throws at times. I know they've taken the deep shots, but a lot of it works off Lynch Adams, or at least in theory.
Are you running here?
I am.
Okay.
Yep. I got
Short.
two. I got tackle to tackle. I got 3 down linemen in there, so I've got to try to run the ball here. Heat coming off the edge.
They'll give it to K'Ron Lynch Adams, and he gets pushed backwards. Nothing there. Tavian Combs came up from the secondary to thrust him behind the line. A loss of 2.
Yep, just nowhere to go. Nice job by this New Mexico defense. I mentioned they were going to bring some pressure off the edges. You got to give those 3 down linemen, Gabriel Lopez, Tyler Keene, Kyler Drake in there as well. Those bigs up front for New Mexico. Look at the penetration that they get off of the right-hand side. That right there blows up the play unto itself.
Well, they'll go for it on 4th down, 4th and 3. The run game non-existent at the moment. Big play here in the 3rd quarter, 4:05 to go. Now look to the sidelines. Lynch Adams, the back. There's Davis rolling out, throws underneath, and it is deflected, looking for Simpson, and Christian Ellis came up to make another huge stop.
That is just a great individual effort right there by Christian Ellis. Does a good job winning against Anthony Simpson one-on-one. You know, UMass has not gotten the tight ends involved in terms of catching the ball today. And that time, it's a rollout, quick rollout to the field where Davis ends up incomplete on a 4th down play. New Mexico on the road, up 28-17, late 3rd quarter.
You can have live college sports in your hand this year with the brand new Varsity Network app. Hear live, play-by-play, and keep up with your favorite teams and audio broadcasts no matter where you are with this free new app. Be sure to download the Varsity Network app today.
Elevate how you hydrate and keep it smart with Smart Water Alkaline.
How about the defensive line today for this New Mexico team? Bryce Santana in on that last stop as well. A couple of huge 4th down stands, and they'll take over on downs and give the ball to Sherrod White to start the drive, a pickup of 3. This feels like a pivotal drive forthcoming here, Mr. Gresh.
It does, and with 3:39 and clock rolling here late 3rd quarter, if you're New Mexico, you got to be thinking, all right, can we deliver a knockout punch on the road? I know that Danny Gonzalez, along with Don Brown, have talked about wanting to be bowl eligible. Well, conversely, if you're UMass and you want to be bowl eligible, you need to get a stop here, and you got to find a way to get another score on the board here to make it more competitive in the 4th quarter. And if you're New Mexico, you're looking at it thinking, we go up 35-17 on the road, we're in great shape for a win.
White, the back, head of steam. He bounces right side, dodges another defender, and then gets all the way to the 41-yard line. Najee Logan coming up to make the stop on a gain of 11. But, Gresh, I think the game plan was, okay, UMass is going to try to stop the run. That means the Lobos said, we're going to open it up throwing, and now they've kind of flip-flopped here. UMass can't step up and make the play along the line.
Well, this is where having 2 tight ends, and you see a number 84 and 85 right there, respectively. 84 Wyatt McClure and 85 Bruckler. Those guys are almost like having extra offensive linemen out there, and I know they're 242 and 237 respectively, but they are blocking tight ends. So in a way, it's almost like you have a heavy set out there for New Mexico.
We'll give it to Lewis. He goes right up the middle and gets greeted hard at the second level. A couple of yards on the pickup. Najee Logan as well. Jarrell Johnson. Johnson had a phenomenal play last week against Eastern Michigan. It looked like a 55-yard touchdown run, and Johnson tracked down Samson Evans, the running back, and poked the ball out at the goal line instead of a touchdown. It turned out to be a touchback. And UMass ball, 2nd and 8 on the 39-yard line. And just methodical here. Hopkins, as we talked about, he's been in these situations before, on the road, experienced. He is the reason why they've had success so far this season. Play action, steps out of pressure, and then he goes down. J.B. Brown, the big man transfer from Arizona, gets to the QB, a loss of 3.
You also had number 40, Dominic Schofield, sniffing around the backfield as well. UMass ends up bringing some heat right here. There's Schofield. You could also see number 93, Uchenna Ezewike, working in as well. So Don Brown not emptying the bench, but starting to rotate some rushers up front here on this 3rd and 12 as we approach under a minute to go in the third quarter.
Great push from Schofield on the attack, and now a big 3rd down, 3rd and 12. Hopkins has time, throws near side, and Washington had it and then couldn't hang on. Rutherford had an arm on him. It'll be incomplete, no flags at the moment, and that will force 4th down.
A lot of physicality right there on that battle between Rutherford and DJ Washington. A lot of hand checking going on. You see Hopkins in the pocket. He knew where he was going with the ball right away. Incomplete.
So one more punt forthcoming here for Aaron Rodriguez. Isaac Ross back at his own 11. And he'll loop this one to the 15-yard line, and Ross will make the fair catch.
We got a penalty.
We got flags in the backfield. Was there contact on Rodriguez?
I think it's going to be running into the kicker. We'll see. There was definitely kicker contact. And you could see Dylan Hopkins coming out as if New Mexico is going to get this ball.
It's a 25-yard punt.
Yeah, Aaron Rodriguez had some trouble kicking here in Amherst today.
Was trying to get that inside the 10, of course, and could not. So
running into the kicker. Number 10, return team. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Now you can see there contact on Rodriguez.
So I got duped. It's 2 10s. You have Hopkins is 10 and Rodriguez who's 10. Which every time, if I were a coach, I would be like, okay, which number 10 is out there? Is that the quarterback who's going to pooch it, or is that the punter who's supposed to punt it?
That sets you up for a potential fake, right?
It's called completely.
Send a number 10 back there. That's actually the QB. So 4th and 7. Second chance for Rodriguez. Once more, Ross waves for it, and it'll be just about the same outcome there for Isaac Ross on the fair catch. UMass offensively will take over with 38 seconds to go on a 20-yard net punt for Rodriguez.
Well, this is also, Jay, where the missed field goal early in the game from Cam Carson kind of rears its ugly head. We know that New Mexico couldn't get anything done on their first drive in the first quarter. Carson misses the field goal in the first quarter. If he hits that, we're at a one-score game, but right now, UMass down 28-17. No turnovers and no punts for the Minutemen today.
2 4th down failures, however, and they'll hand it off. K'Ron Lynch-Adams bursts forward along the right hash and goes down at the 18-yard line. He'll pick up about 4.5, 5 yards. And on the stop, Lopez and Gaynor. 23 seconds to go in this third quarter.
Just check the flags to see if there would be any significant advantage to letting this run down and waiting until the fourth quarter, and there isn't. Wind's pretty stagnant here at McGurk Alumni Stadium.
Kind of with UMass right now, heading to the south end zone. Man in motion is Simpson. Davis, design draw. And he uses a couple of blockers, barrels his way out to the 23-yard line. So he'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down as he works his way up, and that'll take us to the fourth quarter. So it is a 2-score game. UMass with the football facing a third down when we come back trailing 28-17.
Honda's hybrid game is strong with Honda Accord and
decade. See this film on the biggest screen possible.
Seatbelts.
The Creator, rated PG-13, Friday. Get tickets now.
Well, the Massachusetts band having a good time. Start of the fourth quarter. Let's send it down to the sidelines of Matt Goldstein.
Thanks, Jay. Both these schools have something in common. A player who has rushed for over 1,000 yards in all 4 seasons that they spent at their schools. Steve Balark for UMass from 2003 to 2006. Dontrell Moore for New Mexico, 2002 to 2005. And, I can say I played with both those guys, so that's a pretty cool fact. Dontrell Moore, actually the color analyst for the New Mexico radio broadcast team.
Well, how about this? George Johnson III hangs on as he takes a vicious hit all the way down to the 45-yard line on a 30-yard connection from Carlos Davis. Good stuff, Matt. Thank you so much. 2 guys that could really rush the football.
Yeah, and Davis ended up hurt at the end of this play, but uncorked it to Johnson, who gets hit there by Christian Ellis. Nice job by George Johnson III holding on to the ball. He hops up and looks right over and is like, nope, you ain't separating me from the ball. But the bigger story for UMass right now is that Carlos Davis took a hit in the pocket, and he is down. He's going to have to come out of the game for at least 1 play. And we could see Brady Olson trying to get set up on the sidelines. Jay, Carlos Davis, he kept taking the left hand and checking his side.
He's taking a couple of hard shots. This is Riley, comes in and gets a lick on him up at the head. No flags in the play on either side as George Johnson also takes one to the helmet. Meanwhile, the true freshman, Ahmad Haston, has checked into the game for the Minutemen to run this offense. So they will fake the handoff. Haston will take it and will drive his way down to the 41-yard line to pick up a 5 on first down.
All right, so Jay, Haston is in the game. Now let's go to what Danny Gonzalez said during the week. He talked about he thought Tyson Pumachan was going to play in this game. He noted in the press conference, if it's Pumachan, we got to worry a little more about the quarterback run. With Davis, we don't. So now you wonder what kind of prep went into the week from the New Mexico end, and does Haston's legs have the ability to give UMass a little bit of juice here? If for anything else, New Mexico wasn't really expecting a run quarterback today.
Fair point, 6 feet, 195. Haston will hand it off. Up the middle, it's Kayron Lynch-Adams shedding defenders inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line for a pickup of 15.
And there is Kayron Lynch-Adams right there. You could see him getting the feet going once again. When this guy is healthy, he has burst, but he also has patience at the same time. And you can tell the difference when he's right. Campiati in motion once again. And look at Lynch-Adams run through contact right there for the first down.
Will they let the true freshman throw the football? They'll give it to Adams. Bounces to the outside. Simpson trying to hold a block. He sheds off one defender and keeps it moving. Riley will finally bring him down. A gain of 6.
And Lynch-Adams trying to get this offense going offensively here, or at least get them going emotionally here. And you can see, look at Anthony Simpson with a nice block. And once again, Lynch-Adams running through contact. And he is fired up, and he should be right now.
UMass on their 3rd-string quarterback. No Pumachan after the Auburn game. Now Davis out, and it's Haston out of Palm Beach, Florida. Will hand it off, and this time New Mexico steps up and they said, we're not going to fall for that. Lopez, the Washington State transfer, makes the stop and a loss of 3.
And that's one where ended up attacking really the running back there, not thinking that Ahmad Haston was going to be the guy to run the ball. So that's kind of the message there to offensive coordinator Steve Kasula. Okay, we're going to have to vary it up a little bit. if you do have a throw in the bag for the young freshman Haston, this might be the time to bust it out here on 3rd and 6.
Under 12 to go in the fourth quarter, a 2-score game. The true freshman in trying to operate the offense. 3rd down, Simpson in motion. Haston's going to take off on a design draw. Up the middle, lost the football, and in the air, it's going to be Josh Atwood who comes down with it for the first down.
Big man run.
Hey.
There it is. They called him the snapper earlier. He's number 60, Josh Atwood, and it is the worry that you have about having an Ahmad Haston run the ball. He's a true freshman. You got to tuck that thing in. Good hit on the ball right there from number 16, Dimitri Johnson, but the big boy picks it up like a big sandwich in the woods. Hopped on that thing. I love it.
Carlos Davis has checked back into the game, a huge spot in this contest. New Mexico trying to dig down defensively yet again. Davis will turn, hand it off. Lynch Adams spins out of one tackle and gets his body out to the 11-yard line. So he's been able to make something out of nothing. This penetration on the defensive line has been stout all day long for the Lobos.
It has, Jay, and now everything has changed with Carlos Davis back into the game. Now all of your throwing options are on the table as much as your running options. And, let's give Ahmad Haston some credit. He comes in on the fly and is able to run this offense and get the Minutemen into the red area. Now can Carlos Davis punch the Minutemen into the end zone?
I think they might use Gino Campiotti in a situation like this. Had a touchdown last week.
Yeah, he's been blocking for everybody. How about throwing it to him?
They will. He's in the end zone, and Campiotti trying to lay out. It's just a little out of his reach. And Marvin Covington on the coverage, but that was the idea for Campiotti.
Yeah, and you can see that there's something going on with the ribs of Carlos Davis, but look at number 36. Zaire Riley is the guy right there who forces that throw wide. If Riley is just checked up a little bit more and Carlos Davis could set his feet, there's a chance that Campiotti working one-on-one gets that for a touchdown in the end zone, but a good job by Riley to force the early throw from Davis.
You think Davis is sick of seeing Riley up in his grill today?
I think there's a little bit of that, but every time you could see Davis kind of go to his left side, it just seems like there's something going on.
3rd and 9. Davis to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Campiotti had a hand on it, but broken up by Aaron Smith, who's been beat a couple of times today, but able to come away with a huge stop when need be, and the Minutemen will try to settle for 3 here.
And this throw is just a frog hair too late. If it's a little early, maybe there's a chance, but boy, oh boy, that's a good look and a good throw from Davis and a good play by the New Mexico defense, as the Minutemen are going to send the field goal team back out on the field.
Looking for a 29-yard field goal for Cam Carson, the left-footed kicker. Snap is down, held by Kaloji, and towards the Football Performance Center, he battering rams it through, and that will put UMass up to 20 points, and we've got ourselves a one-score game. 10 minutes to go in this one with 14 seconds, and New Mexico with the football up by 8 when we come back.
Drive the road to win with Honda.
Tight ends, Wyatt McClure, the one who comes up with the ball. Holy cow.
So New Mexico now with the football.
Hey, look who's back in there. Krosky Merritt. Feels like we haven't seen him in a bit here in the second half.
Showcased Sherrod White. Play action. Hopkins has pressure, shakes off one man and dumps it off into the flat, and Krosky Merritt is gone along the near sideline, makes a cut over the 40-yard line, and out of bounds to the 42, a gain of 17. What a play made in the backfield by Dylan Hopkins.
Wow, I mean, Hopkins gets away from the pressure. He and Krosky Merritt keep their heads about themselves, but for UMass, this is just a backbreaker. Najee Logan with the pressure, more pressure there. Hopkins works around it, and then Krosky Merritt ends up getting the corner and up the field for the first down. So, boy, talk about a tale of just two sides right there. How close UMass was to getting a big play on that first down. And for New Mexico, life once again up 8 on the road. That could have been a disaster for the Lobos.
Huge swing in favor of New Mexico. And now they hand it off to White. He takes a bump at the line and is able to fall forward out to the 44-yard line. So he'll pick up 3 on first down.
Well, and
but
Jay,
that play, I mean, that's just an incredible swing.
Great effort, no question. And you could argue that might end up being the play of the game because we're looking at 9 minutes to go here in a 2nd and 8 for New Mexico. Let's say New Mexico can burn down to 6 minutes on the clock, 5.5 on the clock, and they kick a field goal to go up 31-20. Now it's a 2-score game, and you've bled about 4 to 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. So if you're UMass, this is a critical 2nd and 8 to try to get them into a 3rd and long to have a chance to have enough time to win this thing.
Another third-quarter shutout for Don Brown. He focused on that last week, and they'll give it to White again. And this time he cannot escape. Isaiah Rutherford comes up along with Jerry Roberts Jr. to make the stop. No gain as Jerry Roberts came back last week after dealing with an injury. Able to stop and force a 3rd and 8. There we go. It's been a good game so far.
Very much so. And here's the 3rd down that I just referenced. You got to get a big stop on 2nd down. Now you get him in 3rd and 8. And you need more than your pass rush. You need the secondary to step up here. A lot of number 2s in the game right now on the depth chart for the Minutemen, but they need a big boy play here on 3rd and 8.
Keep an eye on Medford, lined up in the slot up top, and we've got movement.
False start.
Well, this will set New Mexico back.
5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
You know, the killer for UMass, though, is that the clock kept running. So now in this situation, it's under 8 minutes to go. Yes, the clock will stop. So that penalty hurts to get you in 3rd and 13. Actually, clock starts running again. So now you end up bleeding more time. So from a New Mexico standpoint, even though you lose the 5 yards, it doesn't really kill you in terms of bleeding clock.
And they're trying, of course, to pick up this first down. They are 4 of 7 on 3rd down conversions today. 3rd and 13. They need to get into UMass territory. And they'll throw to the far sideline. It is brought in and intercepted by Massachusetts. No, incomplete. Incomplete. Juan Lua was there on the stop as they were looking for Deuce Jones. And now a punt forthcoming for Rodriguez.
Well, I know Lua was acting like it was a interception, but definitively called incomplete, and that is exactly what the Minutemen needed. 7:21 to go, and they are going to get the ball back. Here's what it looked like for Hopkins trying to get the ball down the field. Lua in coverage. Yep, there it was.
Almost Jones being able to bring that in as well.
Charge timeout of the half.
So UMass will take a timeout here with 7:21 to go.
30-second timeout.
And you got a punt for Rodriguez. You know, one punt was short by design, but 3 punts in all today under 30 yards per punt. So I guess we will take a media timeout here. 28-20, 7:21 to go. Punt forthcoming.
We are compelled.
Honda's hybrid game is strong with Honda Accord and CR-V hybrids on the field. Honda hybrids never need to be plugged in. The onboard system charges the battery for you. Go further with hybrids that get up to 46 miles per gallon and 614 miles per tank. Plus, get 2 years of complimentary maintenance, oil changes, tire rotations, and more. It's game on. Drive a Honda hybrid at your local Honda dealer today.
On his first day in office, with the country in crisis.
Is back to punt here, the senior for New Mexico. 7:21 to go in this fourth quarter. And Ross will take a booming kick for the first time from Rodriguez all the way back to the 10. And room to retrieve, but he gets corralled, escapes, stays on his feet, and he's at the 25, finds a seam out to the 30, and a 20-yard return for DeWosier on a 51-yard punt. On Ross, and he kept it going, and now we will step aside. UMass with the football when we come back. 28-20 in the fourth quarter. Don't go anywhere.
The future is now. The switch to electric vehicles is happening at Horn Kia, and no one is more prepared for the future than we are. Horn Kia carries a great selection of EVs, like the new Kia EV6 and the all-new Niro EV. Plus, Horn Kia features upfront pricing and complete transparency. Get plugged into the electrifying future today. Only at Horn Kia.
On his first day in office, with the country in crisis, President Biden got to work for us. Cutting Black child poverty in half, more money for Black entrepreneurs, millions of new, good-paying jobs. He's lowered the cost of living and prescription drugs. But there's more to do. He gets it because we all deserve dignity, safety, respect, and a chance to do more than just get by, but to get ahead.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Some people just know there's a podcast about that. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate.
Big tea drinker?
Yeah.
There's a podcast about tea.
He knows, and he wants you to know too.
I was listening to a podcast on if dogs know their dogs.
There's a podcast about that?
Just like he'd want you to know about Allstate.
There's a podcast about fly fishing called Why Is That Person Doing That? It's called Tea-rific.
Are you listening to a podcast?
Yeah, it's about multitasking.
Some people just know there's a podcast about that. Those are the people who know you're in good hands with Allstate.
(28-20) New Mexico. True freshman Ahmad Haston going the rest of the way. Carlos Davis still in the injury tent with a rib injury. His return is questionable.
Oh, that is significant. Haston operating the offense, looking to throw. Now he's just going to take off to the near sideline, and Haston will wrap it up with 2 arms. And a pickup of 6. Gresh, at this point, as a true freshman, how much of this offense can you operate in just a limited amount of time being here?
Well, it's really about trust in terms of not turning the football over, Jay, because Ahmad Haston might understand the offense. He might know the playbook very well, but the question for both head coach Don Brown and offensive coordinator Steve Kasula is, do they trust him to throw the football in these moments? Let's remember what happened in Eastern Michigan. Turnovers really cost UMass the game in the end.
We'll keep it on the ground to K'Ron Lynch-Adams. Lynch-Adams trying to get to the outside. He does. He's got the first down, leaving defenders in his wake. And nearing midfield, a 15-yard gain for K'Ron Lynch-Adams.
K'Ron has not given up in this game, and really in the first quarter, Jay, it took him a while to kind of get going. Lynch-Adams, the 3rd leading rusher in FBS football coming into today, and you see the patience and then getting outside, and gee, what a shock there's George Johnson III out there, making sure to at least get in somebody's way on the edge.
But New Mexico knows running the football is going to be the focus. They'll swing it out to Simpson. Simpson catches and then turns upfield. Simpson looking for more yardage, makes another move and is down at the 36-yard line. Noah Pola Gates on the stop, a 14-yard connection.
I give Steve Kasula, the offensive coordinator at UMass, a ton of credit. He has found many different ways via motion, via shifts, and just alignment to not only get the ball to Anthony Simpson, but to work in the tight end Gino Campiotti as some kind of blocker on those kind of plays. Nice job of Simpson working around the block of Campiotti on that one.
4 catches for 51 yards for Simpson. Haston gaining some confidence, back to throw, looking downfield, and now he tries to take off, spins out of 1 tackle, another hesitation move, trying to get rid of the football, back and forth he goes, and here come the Lobos. They will swallow him up near midfield. Took a while, but a loss of 11. And that's a scenario where you just need to get rid of the football.
Exactly right, Jay. And we talked about Carlos Davis and Dylan Hopkins, each of the starting quarterbacks being a senior. At some point, Haston's got to throw this away. You break out one more time, throw it away. Turn around, throw it past the line of scrimmage, get the thing out of bounds. It's great, that Ahmad Haston has the athleticism to squirm free, but at some point you got to protect the yardage in this situation.
The incredible pursuit from Bryce Santana. So now he'll swing it out again to Simpson, and this one pretty much keyed in on by the Lobos, a gain of 2.
Yeah, came back to a version of the same play they ran earlier where I praised Campiotti and Simpson. Went right back to the well because it is an easy throw for Ahmad Haston. So, Jay, we must assume that Carlos Davis has enough of an injury that he can't throw the football. And normally Brady Olson would be in a situation like this, but he isn't the runner. Ahmad Haston is.
3rd and 20. Under 4 to go. This is about as dire as you get for Massachusetts. A true freshman operating the offense in the 4th quarter in a 1-score game behind the sticks. Haston, design draw, and he gets out inside the 45-yard line down to the 44. Sets you up maybe 3rd and manageable.
No, it's 4th and 20 now. Yeah, I mean, that was 3rd and long, and they decided to try to run the ball like that. So we're now sitting in 4th and 18. So, no, I didn't love that play call at all. I mean, you try to get it to, say, 4th and 10, but if you're going to let Ahmad Haston throw the ball on 4th down, why wouldn't you let him throw it on 3rd down?
4th and manageable were the words I was trying to get out, Gresh. Thanks for keeping me on point here. 4th and 18. Long way to go. Could be the game.
Blitz.
Haston looking downfield. Fires to the far sideline. It is complete to Campiotti, trying to keep it alive, and Campiotti just goes down a couple of yards shy of the first down marker inside the 30. Just not enough, and the Lobos will take over on downs yet again.
Pretty good poise in the pocket from Ahmad Haston. He knew where he wanted to go with the ball. The problem is he's throwing it to a player who's just running a route that is short. Nice job by Campiotti along the sidelines. But that's where 4th and 18. Boy, that's a long convert.
First down, New Mexico. Media timeout.
So we got some offsetting there of people woofing after the play. Boys will be boys.
Oh, Haston makes the completion, but just not enough. We'll be back. 2:51 to go.
Drive the road to win with Honda. This season's lineup is off the charts. Accords, Civics, HRVs, CRVs, Pilots, Passports, Ridgelines, Odysseys, with more value and more wins. Honda is the most fun to drive, the best value brand, and the most awarded brand in Car and Driver 10 Best history. The whole team is in stock. Do not miss these top picks. Drive one today at your local Honda dealer.
On his first day in office, with the country in crisis, President Biden got to work for us. Cutting Black child poverty in half, more money for Black entrepreneurs, millions of new, good-paying jobs. He's lowered the cost of living and prescription drugs. But there's more to do. He gets it because we all deserve dignity, safety, respect, and a chance to do more than just get by, but to get ahead.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Some people just know there's a podcast about that. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate.
Big tea drinker?
Yeah.
There's a podcast about tea.
He knows, and he wants you to know too.
I was listening to a podcast on if dogs know their dogs.
There's a podcast about that?
Just like he'd want you to know about Allstate.
There's a podcast about fly fishing called Why Is That Person Doing That? It's called Terrific.
Are you listening to a podcast?
Yeah, it's about multitasking.
Some people just know there's a podcast about that. Those are the people who know you're in good hands with Allstate.
Welcome to life in the new open web, where the future arrives daily and creativity and commerce thrive. Viant is pioneering a new approach to media, where third-party cookies are cleared from the cache of history and emerging channels open doors to new customers, creating a world where the future is wide open and the possibilities endless. Viant, built for the new open web, built for now.
The Hangar Pub and Grill's the official game day hangout of Massachusetts Athletics and features 6 great locations across Western Mass. A huge 4th and 18 stop made by the Lobos defensively. UMass 0 of 3 on 4th downs tonight. And with 2:51 to go, New Mexico will try to get a couple of first downs here and head on back to the land of enchantment with a W. I have one win. That was against the FCS opponent. And Tennessee Tech, they lost to start the season against Texas A&M and lost last week against New Mexico State, but not yet. Here comes Billy Wooden, who flings White to the ground. And a loss of 3 on first down. Another TFL for the big man, Billy Wooden.
Well, and now you get into the timeout that UMass used earlier before the punt return. Now you got to try to manage the situation a little differently.
Timeout of the half. Please put 2:35 on the clock. 2:35.
So interesting here that UMass chooses to take a timeout after a negative play. So 2nd and 12. You end up stopping the clock. You would have liked to have had the other timeout, but they used it for the punt return. So now you're in a situation to where you got to try to get another. I think if you get another stop here, the reason they used the timeout is because it was a negative play. So it's not, I don't think it's just the down and distance. I think it's the fact that they pushed him back. Okay, this changes the way you would play it. If it's 2nd and 7, it might be a run. Now on 2nd and 12, does New Mexico just decide to turn around and run it again, or can they trust their senior quarterback and throw it short? So I think Don Brown's got to stop down and make sure he gets the right play call.
Well, Hopkins is 8 of 15 through the air for 191 yards, 317 total yards of offense today for New Mexico, 407 for Massachusetts. But the Lobos have not been shy in these instances to throw the football when you think they might just try to run it. I'll put the tight end in the backfield, Trace Bruckler, along with White, and White goes right up the gut and gets out to the 29-yard line, a gain of 3.
Now Don Brown's just called his 2nd timeout.
Timeout, UMass. That's their 3rd and final timeout of the second half.
So that was the second one that he had to use right here. They used one on the punt return. So now you're in a 3rd and 9 situation, and I think if you're Don Brown, you're thinking, all right, they're more than likely going to run it here.
Well, we shall see what the outcome is when we come back. Timeout on the field, 2:28 to go.
The future is now. The switch to electric vehicles is happening at Horn Kia, and no one is more prepared for the future than we are. Horn Kia carries a great selection of EVs, like the new Kia EV6 and the all-new Niro EV. Plus, Horn Kia features upfront pricing and complete transparency. Get plugged into the electrifying future today. Only at Horn Kia.
On his first day in office, with the country in crisis, President Biden got to work for us, cutting Black child poverty in half, more money for Black entrepreneurs, millions of new, good-paying jobs. He's lowered the cost of living and prescription drugs. But there's more to do. He gets it because we all deserve dignity, safety, respect, and a chance to do more than just get by, but to get ahead.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
8, they're going to have to make some hay, maybe with a freshman quarterback, but you got to give the Minutemen defense credit. A fantastic job here against a New Mexico offense to put up 28 points in the first half, and they've now shut them out here in the second half with a chance to win the game.
UMass needs the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to tie it.
Sorry, tie the game. Math.
Timeout, New Mexico. That's their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
And now the Lobos will take the timeout, so they've got 2 remaining.
And this is a good timeout.
Media timeout. Media timeout.
All right, so media timeout. We will step aside. 28-20, 1:39 to go. Punt coming up when we return.
We are compelled to be a force for good. That compassionate, spirited, and steadfast drive has helped us be the difference for you and so many others within our diverse human family. Every day, in ways big and small, we are humbled and privileged that our impactful care helps you go on to make all the difference in your own world. Together, we have the capacity to transform lives. A-State Health, advancing care, enhancing lives.
Single game tickets for Massachusetts football are on sale now. Join us for all 6 home games at McGurk Alumni Stadium and cheer on the Minutemen this season. Amherst is the place to be on Saturdays in the Pioneer Valley, so get your Massachusetts football tickets now by visiting umassathletics.com/tickets or by calling 1-866-UMass-TIX. Go UMass!
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
5th punt of the day forced by the UMass defense. So here comes Rodriguez out to boot it away, and he gets another good one off, drifting Ross back and forcing him to call the fair catch, and then he picks up the football and gets hammered. That looked chaotic on the sequence, and it's a 49-yard punt for Rodriguez. So UMass 1:31 to go, and they've got to go 80 yards with a true freshman quarterback, unless they opt to use Brady Olson, which is also, you think, an option as well.
You would think so. So the fair catch, too many bodies around. It ends up in Ross's hands anyway, and he is down. And you're right, Jay. It looks like Ahmad Haston is going to be the guy who is going to get this big drive here. 1:31 to go in the fourth quarter. No timeouts. You see, 2 for 2, 16 yards, but those are sideways throws. Haston's going to have to drive it down the field a little bit here.
This is what you dream of if you're a freshman quarterback. Game on the line, throws it out far side. George Johnson, the third, makes the catch. Not much there. Out to the 26, a pickup of 5.
And you got to go fast. Yep. That's the thing. You're not getting out of bounds. You got to go fast, and you're just worked down 10 seconds here.
Are you going to try to push one downfield? Haston steps up. Thinking about running, takes off to the far sideline and will scamper out of bounds near the line again. I think New Mexico content with allowing him to do that underneath all day long.
No question. They'll give up those kind of runs even if he gets out of bounds and stops the clock because, again, I'm not great at math, but the math with 1:06 to go doesn't work. In fact, you're in a 3rd and 1 right now.
So first things first, got to pick up a first down.
Right.
Haston will turn, little RPO, keeps the football, dives forward, a headlong 35-yard line, 6-yard pickup. 6 at a time might not be enough here for UMass inside the 1 minute mark.
UMass just caught a break here. That clock didn't run on that play. It stayed at 1:02 on the first down.
Haston to the air, looking downfield, chucks it deep, and Simpson is there. He makes the catch at the 25-yard line, looking to the end zone. He gets a block. Touchdown, Massachusetts. The true freshman airs it out, and Simpson makes the big play, and UMass can tie it up on the 2-point conversion.
What a great play by Anthony Simpson, who has been active all day long for the Minutemen. Ahmad Haston throws it out there to him. It's a contested catch in front of Christian Ellis, and you can see it even took Simpson a moment or two to really gather it in. Nice job on the stiff arm, and then a heck of a dance in the end zone afterwards. Here's the 2-point conversion.
Game on the line, 65-yard completion to Simpson. 28-26. Haston from the gun, looking to the end zone, throws the fade. He's got Campiati, and Gino makes the catch, and we're tied here in Amherst.
Jay, we said, when are they going to get the ball to Campiati? In the biggest moment of the game. They get him in a one-on-one matchup, And Campiati beats the defender off the line of scrimmage so much that the young quarterback Haston can float it to him in the back of the end zone. Great one-on-one win. The matchup against number 7, Tavian Combs, arguably New Mexico State's best defensive player. And the former quarterback is the guy that wins a one-on-one battle, catches it from a freshman, and we are tied in Amherst. I can't believe it.
But for New Mexico, still 45 seconds remaining and 2 timeouts, Gresh.
They got the ability to operate here.
In case you're wondering.
And you got a senior quarterback.
And a kicker that has a career long of 44. So we are not done yet, but how about Ahmad Haston? First action as a QB at the college level. 5 of 5, 102 yards in the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to Gino Campiati.
Boy, the depth that Massachusetts has at quarterback is evident.
Down to the 3rd string. And the up man will catch this at the 22-yard line. So no return as designed, and here comes Hopkins trying to engineer a little miracle of his own. Let's take another look.
Here is Haston once again in the pocket, and you could see him get it down the field to Simpson, and Simpson just does a great job on the stiff arm. Nice job. Boy, what a shock, George Johnson the
You've
third.
been calling him out on the blocks all day long.
And he makes another one. I've also been waiting for the tight end, and Campiati wins the battle so big against Combs. Haston floats it up there. Just, again, 1, not 2.
So here comes Hopkins, and if you're New Mexico, do you risk pushing the ball and potential turnover? Dylan Hopkins, 8 of 15 on the day, 191. They'll put Erickson in motion. 45 seconds left. Hand it off to Sherrod White, and he gets tracked down behind by J.B. Brown, a pickup of 3.
So how aggressive will New Mexico choose to be? It kind of looks like they're, unless they got something up their sleeve here, it looks like they might be playing for overtime. Not a sense of urgency here from the Lobos.
20 seconds left. Hopkins has time in the pocket, and he gets crunched. UMass with Matherin and Wooden in on the stop, a loss of 6. And that should take us to the end of regulation, 28-28. What a finish to the 4th quarter. UMass defensively pitches a shutout in the second half, and they tie it up. Simpson on the big catch, Campiati on the conversion, and UMass and New Mexico will head to overtime for the first time this season.
Well, Jay, when you have a team at 1-2 and a team at 1-3, and they have been rebuilt through the transfer portal in so many ways, and you've got 2 head coaches that are quote-unquote trying to build programs, this is some of the inconsistency that you're going to get. And for New Mexico, it was such a great first half of football, and the second half offensively has not been a disaster. They just haven't been able to punch it in the end zone. And meanwhile, the fight from UMass. And Jay, you and I have seen a ton of UMass football over the years. Normally, there would have been a mistake, a penalty, something stupid, a personal foul, whatever it is. UMass cleaned up those second half mistakes. They kept fighting. They got a little bit of life from a freshman quarterback in Ahmad Haston, and we are now headed to overtime. Wow.
Only 50 yards of offense for New Mexico in the second half.
Have 1 timeout left. Both teams have a challenge, right? So each team will get 1 possession. You're the visitors, therefore you call the toss. We have a heads and tails. What's your call going to be? Tails.
Tails is the
it's
call.
Tails, you've won the toss. You want defense? You want the ball. No, you want. No.
I was going to say they want the ball because that's what.
You want defense, right? Defense. Which end?
Oh, wow, that's a surprise.
Which end of the field do you want to play on?
Put out back to the end zone.
Come on, guys. First and 10, Massachusetts, 25-yard line.
All right, so Danny Gonzalez, Coach Gonzalez has elected to receive to start every game, but they allow UMass to start on offense here, and I guess that's from the strategy standpoint that works, but it just is UMass with the ball at the 25-yard line.
Here we go with the overtime rules. You saw the coin toss decides the offense, defense, or the end of the field. Each team gets a possession from the opposing 25-yard line in the first 2 overtimes, and then you must attempt a 2-point conversion after touchdown in the second overtime, alternating 2-point conversions starting with the third overtime. And as evidenced by the coin toss, Jay, we have complicated this like crazy in college football.
We sure have.
But it's all for trying to get everybody in and out of here.
The last time UMass was in overtime, and the win was against Liberty, that triple overtime game. So Hastings going to keep it, get to the edge, and we'll pick up 6 on first down.
I'll tell you what, Jay, we have talked about the quarterback spot at UMass a lot, and Tyson Pumachan hurt after the first couple of weeks of the season. Carlos Davis dinged today. This is just me, but I kind of think if you're offensive coordinator Steve Kasula with Hamad Haston in the game, you're going back to the Pumachan playbook.
Yeah.
Which, again, how much of New Mexico did they prepare for that part of the playbook with a running QB?
2nd and 5, Lynch Adams the back. And again, Haston will take off, and he gets swallowed up inside the 20 down to the 19, so maybe half a yard on that, and that'll bring up 3rd down. Kine with the stop.
So UMass has put in a freshman quarterback. They found a way to get the tight end involved in the offense in a big play. George Johnson III has been fantastic, and they put up 492 yards on offense, have the Minutemen. Holy cow.
They'll empty out the backfield. 3rd and 4. Haston again, design draw up the middle, and Haston trying to pick his way to the line again. He's going to be about 1.5 yards shy of the first down here in overtime.
And I think if you're UMass, you're going for it here. You're not kicking the field goal, or at least now up. And Don Brown has said kick the field goal, so there we go.
Well, they're 0 for 3 on 4th down conversion so far today.
Yeah, I think it's a little different because you have Haston in there who's a running quarterback, which is a different dynamic from all of the – and when your defense steps up the way it has, be a little aggressive offensively. It's 2 yards.
And this is why if you're New Mexico State, you opt to send the defense out there first.
Yep.
So Carson, already a couple of field goals today. This one from 33. And Cam Carson sends it through. It is good. And for the first time tonight, Massachusetts has the lead. It's 31-28. But New Mexico State will take their turn here in the overtime stanza. 3rd field goal of the day for Cam Carson. 4 plays, 9 yards on that drive.
I go back to that one that was missed in the first quarter, and what a difference it would have made on that final touchdown to tie the game. If UMass had a 28-23 lead, it would have been at the or it would have been down 28-23 when they scored that touchdown. Goes to show you the kickers matter. We don't even need Goldstein to sign off on that one.
Do you remember that last overtime game for Massachusetts? 3 OTs against Liberty.
Buckshot Calvert.
That's
correct?
right. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt the back, and so a chance to win it for the Lobos if they can get it into the end zone.
I'm running it first play here.
Merritt jumps into the line. Matherin there along with Najee Logan, a gain of 1.5, 2 on first down.
I want to get the ball into the hands of my main running back, try to get into a 3rd down situation here, so I can make something happen with my wide receivers on the outside. They got size with DJ Washington, do the Lobos, size with Caleb Medford, which we've already seen. Deuce Jones has made a one-handed catch today. Jeremiah Hickson has made some plays. So if I get another run to get into 3rd and medium, I'm going to put all those guys on the field and let my quarterback throw it.
Very impressed with the wide receivers. Here Hopkins will dump it out on the rollout to the tight end who gets upended. A gain of maybe 1. Not much there as UMass defensively able to sniff it out. Gerard Cameron, the redshirt freshman, on the stop.
You know, when you're under 80 yards of offense in a second half, you start throwing it to the guys that you haven't thrown the ball to very much, and the tight ends are two of those guys in this New Mexico offense. I'm sure that offensive coordinator Bryant Vincent was thinking he'd get a little more yards out of that sort of bootleg there.
So 3rd and 8 from the 23-yard line. Again, you got Luke Drzwicki, the kicker, with some decent ability to hit from 35, 40 yards if needed. Hopkins, play action, pressure comes, throws to the end zone. It is incomplete, and a flag down. A flag on the play intended for Medford. Juan Lua on the coverage. A lot of action in the backfield as well.
Pass interference, defense, number 25, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And he wasn't looking towards the football. That might have been the indicator. Juan Lua, the senior safety, flag for this offense. What do you see, partner?
You know what it was? Lua ended up contacting the shoulders right as the ball got there. I didn't see holding or anything that could have kept him from getting there, but now that I see Lua getting the hands up, he made the contact on the offensive player. So that's going to get called every time, unfortunately.
So this will mark the football inside the 10-yard line and a chance to win the game for New Mexico.
Yeah, here's where I'm going to maybe some quick play action to try to get something either to DJ Washington on the outside, who is manned up one-on-one, try to suck the safeties up in maybe a run play fake, and then a quick slant route over the middle.
White is the tailback. Hopkins will keep it. Rush to the outside. Hopkins makes a move and dragging defenders into the end zone. He is down at the 1-yard line. UMass had him stopped 3-4 yards out, and sheer will for the big man Hopkins, able to carry the load.
Well, Hopkins is 6'2", 225, so you're right. He is a big guy and a load himself. I would not have predicted that this would have been the play this close around the goal line. Hopkins does a good job of working around Marcus Bradley.
Short of the goal line, previous play is under further review.
Yeah, this will take about 10 seconds because to me he was short of the goal line, was Hopkins.
Keep in mind, Hopkins had that 4-yard touchdown run earlier in the day. How about this? UMass, almost 500 yards of total offense. 327 for the Lobos, but they are a yard away from winning this game.
And look at Marcus Bradley right there. Not great effort in terms of letting the quarterback run around him and then trying to bring him down. Let's see. Yeah, elbow is down, I think, before the ball gets in the end zone, and then we start to get into camera angles and what we can and can't see and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think there is enough there to be able to overturn this call.
Now, if you're New Mexico here, are you going to try to just hammer it up the middle? White has been that battering ram type running back. Or do you try to get a little cute and keep it with Hopkins and try to work his way into the end zone? UMass needs a TFL here.
Big time. And what they're going to have to do is try to have their big defensive linemen kind of shoot some gaps and penetrate. We saw New Mexico defensively do that earlier against UMass. They did a really good
second and goal.
They did a really good job of kind of shooting gaps and blowing up a 4th down play earlier. UMass is going to have to do that with their defensive line here. But yes, it's either Krosky, Merritt, or White. I'm just going to try to pound this ball right into the end zone, Jay. Or I'm going to take Dylan Hopkins, maybe get the hands under center and see if I can get one of those cheapo reach over the goal line, get back on the plane, and head back to New Mexico type plays. But they got him in the gun.
By that pass interference. White the back. They'll give it to him, and they'll blow this one dead.
Was
it movement or was there a timeout call?
I think we have a false start. I see a flag on the field. And next see the UMass players saying that it's on New Mexico.
Talk it over. Important part of the game for sure.
Yep. They're pushing back a little dinner reservation and talking it over right now. I think they're getting both those done with the overtime situation.
Delay of
here.
game. Defense disconcerting signals. Half the distance to the goal.
Oh, wow.
Still second down.
That's been one of the points of emphasis for the officiating crews this year. Kind of barking and throwing out hand claps, which is what the quarterbacks do to sync their cadence.
Yeah, I couldn't even really see if there was a false start there to begin with. That's one of those.
Tom Brown's going to get a flag of his own. He comes out to have a word with the referee, Gary Patterson.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Head coach, UMass, half the distance to the goal. Still second down. Automatic first down.
Right. But again, it was second down. The ball's going to get moved 4.5 inches. I mean, really.
All we were missing is that referee that said, "I'm talking to America here."
Well, Don Brown got his 2 cents worth
He
because
sure did.
I think he understands.
This is the game.
Yep, very much so. And again, it gives him an extra down and moves it closer. You need a Herculean effort, but he's got to stand up for his kids right there on the disconcerting signals.
You got to come up with most likely 4 stops from the 6-inch line. Hopkins, high snap, hands it off, and it'll come up short, maybe a loss of a yard. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt got wrangled, and in the mix, there's the big man, Billy Wooden, Matherin as well, Tyler Martin.
Billy Wooden with the wall there, and you mentioned Jerry Roberts Jr. shooting that backside gap, trying to get in there. He almost made the play.
So back to the 2-yard line.
If I'm UMass, New Mexico has thrown the ball to the tight ends this half. Those 2 tights were lined up to the right. Now they're to the left. Keep an eye on them.
Krosky-Merritt the back. They'll give it to him. He gets tripped up, stretches to the goal line. Touchdown, New Mexico. And they'll walk it off on a 2-yard TD run for Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt to win this game on the road here in Amherst.
And it is going to review to be sure that Krosky-Merritt ended up into the end zone.
How about the extra effort for Krosky-Merritt here to get this ball across the goal line?
That's why you turn around and you hand it to one of your best offensive players. Let's see if he was down at all on top of the pile. Nope, that will be a touchdown that should stand. And this one should be over. Good job.
Unless his knee goes down here. But, yeah, he uses the bodies underneath him and then launches.
The touchdown is confirmed. The game is over.
Game is over. We're going to have a couple of words with the winning head coach and Danny Gonzalez with our Matt Goldstein. Krosky-Merritt gets the TD, and UMass settled for the field goal in the first portion of overtime and then didn't go for it on 4th down. A pass interference penalty set up goal to go, and then a slew of other penalties made it a 6-inch game, and ultimately New Mexico gets their 2nd win of the year.
You know, and for UMass, Jay, it's another loss on the docket for the Minutemen in real heartbreaking fashion in running the record now to 1-4, playing very much a better brand of football overall. But if you're New Mexico, you got to be excited heading into conference action.
Yeah, without a doubt, UMass with one hand tied behind their back. Let's send it down to Matt Goldstein and the winning coach today, Danny Gonzalez. Guys.
Hey, Coach, what an exciting ending to the game. I mean, if you could talk about it, the first half put up 28 points. What was UMass able to do to kind of slow you down in the second half?
They did a good job on our receiver, better job in the second half. And then we were getting behind the 6 on 2nd long, and they did a really nice job on that. And then we can't give up big plays. I mean, I guess we wanted to make it exciting for the TV audience because we have a guy that should intercept that ball and the game should be over. Instead, we bounce off and let him score and get the 2-point conversion, but our team showed some resiliency. You just need one sometimes to get things going. So I'm proud of our guys for fighting through the overtime and coming out with a win.
Defensively, it was bend but don't break, holding UMass to field goal attempts. 0 for 3 UMass was on 4th down conversions. Talk about the play of your defense today.
I think there was a bunch of missed opportunities at big plays. I mean, we had a hard time sacking the quarterback when we get back there. And then we got to clean up the secondary. We can't give up big plays in coverage, but we made enough plays to win the football game, and that's all that matters.
And talk about what the message was on the sideline after giving up the touchdown under a minute to go to come back, regain composure, and then ultimately get the victory.
I thought our guys came together in a great way and did that because that's as emotionally as you can come. I mean, we've been leading the whole half, and then we give one up with under a minute to go. I thought they did a nice job fighting back. The defense came out and got a stop, held them to a field goal, and then that was a nice play. Really good job by Caleb getting the pass interference call and then put the ball in the end zone.
All right, congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, good seeing you.
All right, that's good stuff from head coach Danny Gonzalez. Said, hey, you need one. We'll take a look back here at the second half and how this one